Hello and welcome to Thursday AI, everyone. Welcome. My name is Alex Volkov. I'm an AI evangelist with weights and biases. Supposedly, this is here. And you are live on Thursday AI for February 5th, 2026. We have a great show today with a lot of excitement, a lot of updates about the craziness that happens in the world, some about AI psychosis that we started noticing happening, but definitely a lot of open source releases, a lot of voice, a lot of multimedia, video, just generally a crazy show. We also have a guest today from OpenAI. VB is going to join us to talk about the new Codex app, and that's going to come later in the show. So stay tuned for that. And in order to help me discuss what happened this week, I want to introduce my panelists here. Welcome, Jan Peleg. Welcome, LDJ, and welcome, Wolf from Raven Wolf. What's up, guys? Jan, how you doing?
As always, crazy week, just like every other week.
It does not stop accelerating for sure. If anything, we're accelerating at a faster pace, even still. There's this thing where you kind of like, let's say you're on the regular car, right? Even like a very fast car, and you accelerate super fast, and then you get to 120, and then you kind of like cruise at 120, so you don't feel the acceleration anymore. We don't have this. We don't have this
No.
cruising altitude. We don't have.
It's a feedback loop.
Yep.
Like AI gets better, then we use the AI, so we get better in making the AI better. So it's just accelerating, and it starts to accelerate itself. And there is, I don't know. I just want to point out there had been a vibe shift in coding, like for sure, over the past couple of months, maybe year. Okay, for a couple of years already, but you get the point. Things are changing. Like you can actually, people are looping forever, agents working 24/7 on people's computers.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Those people also don't have good sleep. I heard an interview with Gergely Orlots with the TBAPN folks, and he's like, I'm in this email list with all these like crazy, not even vibe coding, just like multiple agent folks, and none of them can go to sleep because they're like, okay, something's gonna go wrong with my agents or with my ensemble of agents, etc. So this is the psychosis I was talking about. If you're that kind of person, write to me. I would love to interview you on the show to see if you can sleep while your agent's running. Wolfram, how are you doing, man?
I'm fine. I'm missing the sunny California. It's so cold over here in Germany.
Yeah,
but yeah, what a week! What a week!
Absolutely insane.
On all front ends, on all fronts, video, audio, models, we have it all.
Yes, this is going to be a full show, folks. We try to do a well roundup of kind of the news that you need to know and the most important releases of AI this week. We're probably going to have a breaking news this week as well, or on the show today as well. But basically, this new week was a very strong all-rounder. There's 3D world games. There is big company lab news. There's open source, a lot of open source. There's voice and audio. There's video upgrades. A lot of it is state of the art. I don't remember a week like this for at least for at least a few weeks. We don't have a deep dive today, but we do have an interview with VB from OpenAI to talk to us about Codex. So definitely tune in for that. If you are tuning in on X or on YouTube, please give us a like, subscribe, and a follow. Some folks are saying that we have vertical and horizontal on YouTube. Yeah, we have both. So you can choose which one. I think it's choosing based on your device. So welcome everybody who's already tuned in. I see a bunch of folks like this in the audience. Feel free to comment throughout the show, as well as repost, but mostly comment and tell us what's going on. Oftentimes, we're so busy with telling you what happened last week, we don't have time to go next and see breaking news. So oftentimes, the folks who are giving us breaking news are in the comments. LDJ, how are you doing? What's up? Welcome.
I'm doing pretty good. There's a lot of exciting things. Do we want to get into our favorite things of the past week?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, so I'd have to pick, I think, the new Qwen 3 coder next. It's only 3 billion parameters active, 80 billion total, and it's seeming like maybe kind of the best all around, like mid-range local coding model that you could use with Claudebot, or sorry, now Multibot and now OpenClaw, but yeah.
Yep, you can use this completely local with any agent that you want, Pi, etc. But yeah, OpenClaw. We are going to welcome Ryan Carson, while Wolfram is going to tell us his favorite thing from this week.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, Ryan?
Hi, Ryan. So basically, what the video stuff was very interesting, but I want to pick something open source. So I'm picking AceStep 1.5, the AI music generator, which can generate music within seconds, and you basically can create your own Spotify that way, customized to yourself on your own system, in a loop, running music all the time. I like that.
I love that. I installed it last night to prepare for the show, and I wish I had more time to generate actually tracks for the show, because before we started the show, I just choose the tracks that we have this on the streaming platform, and then YouTube strikes me down because they're not mine. So I just really, it's time to generate everything of our own completely, folks. This is Suno at home. The AceStep 1.5 generates full tracks of music within 5 minutes. This is crazy. It looks like we have a full panel here. Nistan looks like he's 15 again. I don't know what's going on over there.
What happened, Nistan?
Yeah.
Who are you? What the? He de-aged himself.
I went for a haircut in the hood, basically, and they just made me like one of them.
Yes. All right. While you're on the spot, teenager, tell us your favorite AI news from this week. Nistan, that'd be you. You're the teenager.
Just fixing some microphone issues.
We can hear you fine. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Honestly, it was. It's definitely the Qwen next architecture with only 3B active parameters, and that right now is the fastest Ralph you could possibly have with the smallest amount of active parameters, and you can run that on consumer hardware. I mean, you'd need a few 3090s or a Mac Ultra, but this Qwen next architecture, 80B full model, 3B active parameter. Also, for people that are really used to the Qwen style of things, that's definitely my favorite now. And I have quite a few friends just trying to set up agents and orchestration and stuff with it, because it is good enough to fire up the actions. So that's my favorite one.
So two of you chose Qwen Coder next, and I would love to give it over to Yam. What is the highlight of this week for you?
Anthropic trolls OpenAI in an ad saying that ads are coming to AI, but not to Claude. And we got a response from CEO of OpenAI that we're gonna get to throughout the show, I suppose.
Yeah. Folks, just let me just add this about Yam. I'm over here trying to bring you news. Yam is like the culture reporter, the vibes culture reporter of the AI world. There's a lot of stuff that's did not happen in terms of releases, but yeah, definitely there was a lot of stuff with OpenAI on the topic, and this is fight night for AI nerds. Yam will bring you all of that and more. So yeah, definitely looking forward to some coverage about this. I think
One more thing. OpenClaw explodes.
Let's
to
just put this
100,000, 160,000, something like that.
Yep.
GitHub stars in couple of weeks.
Let's just acknowledge that we're a weekly show, and at the time of the last recording, we talked about ClaudeBot dying and turning into MoldBot. And as I was finishing up the notes for the last show in the newsletter, there was another rebrand. So MoldBot that we told you about, if you're just listening to the show and you're in the cave somewhere and we are the only news that you ever consume, MoldBot is no more. It's now OpenClaw. And OpenClaw has been absolutely exploding, and we'll definitely talk about this. And some of us are claw-pilled for a while, and one of the members of this panel just became claw-pilled based on his timeline. So, Ryan Carson, what is your favorite thing from this week?
I mean, we just can't stop talking about OpenClaw. Until you use it, it looks like a cute toy, and then you realize, oh my God, you can orchestrate this thing. And so the thing I want to talk about, we're starting to see orchestration pop on top of OpenClaw, because OpenClaw is great as a single agent, but what you really want to do is orchestrate, a whole team. And so there's a couple of these projects popping up. One is called Relay, which I just popped in the chat. It's an open source GitHub repo, and I'm starting to think about this, and it's just so good. I was messaging Scout, my OpenClaw, at 11 p.m. in bed. I'm like, what am I doing? I need to sleep and I can't sleep. It's amazing.
That's that psychosis I keep talking about, dude. This is the psychosis. I feel it. I feel a vibe shift, complete vibe shift between many, many people who are managing either one or a fleet of AI agents that can do some shit. And so we're definitely going to talk about this. We should also absolutely mention, because when we hype something up, maybe folks install and they forget about it. If you have one of these agents, you should absolutely know what is the scope of what it can do on your laptop and what is the scope of the prompt injection and malware attacks everywhere else. So Cloud Hub, where it installs the skills, the top skill for Twitter was absolutely malware. If you install a skill, it's a markdown file. We talked to you about skills with Eleanor Berger. It's a markdown file that also comes with scripts. So if you have a bot that has full access to your system, you should not install skills or let it go to different websites.
Skills are absolutely the attack vector, y'all. You should not be installing any skills unless you know what they do and how they work and what's going on. I don't use Cloud Hub, none of that.
I also tried not to use Cloud Hub, but I forgot that I had a self-improvement directive for Wilfred, and Wilfred wakes up every night and tries to do a very self-contained self-improvement thing. So tonight, this morning, I woke up, I looked at my channel, 20 new messages from it trying to improve it. So I was like, hey, I noticed that, your Home Assistant connection is only a command line, but there's a whole skill. So I went to Cloud Hub and installed the skill and used the API key. I was like, oh, wait. Stop. Where's the stop button? Where's the stop button? Again, a reason why I have a physical device, folks. I could just yank this or cut it. And this is why I will never run this thing in a VM connected to my stuff. But also, it can still work while I'm asleep. So danger is out there. Dragons be there, folks. Just be very, very careful with what you do. But I'm with Ryan. And unless you install one of those, it's very, very hard to see why folks are getting this a super hard excitement. All right,
there's also a big paradigm shift, because usually you just had data and you had executables. So you could say, if it's executable, I have to check it. I have a virus scanner doing it. And if it's just data, if it's a README, if it's a TXT file or an MD file, it can't do anything. But now for the agent, the TXT, the MD, they are all executable because they are prompts. So that is something to keep in mind. Even if it's just a text file, it can now really attack your system, take over. And if you have an agent that is deeply integrated in all of your stuff, the attack vectors are so much bigger, and that's why a lot of hackers are now going to go there. And think about this: when you download anything, doesn't matter if it's executable, for an agent, text is executable.
Yep. So
Yeah, I even saw GitHub commits that people try to inject stuff into, like on major repositories of LLMs. Just people try to like create a PR that is real, and then in the middle have some commits that try to inject just because your bot might find it and so on. I just want to say, I think the vibe shift, it can be described like, before that, you asked the AI to do something, then it told you how to do it. You need to do this and you need to do that. And now you just say, hey, find yourself some API to this site, and like go register for me using my credit card, get us an API key, and like do, like, it's a different thing. You don't need to do it yourself. It doesn't tell you, like, it's a really different animal at this point, because it can really register for stuff for you. You don't even need to give it an API. It's a complete vibe shift over the past couple of weeks, and this is what people are excited about. If you're not sure,
I will say, Yam, I think you're completely right. We had multiple conversations. Just came back from San Francisco. Last week's episode was San Francisco. We had a hackathon we're going to tell you all about. And so I had a chance to meet a bunch of friends in different leading AI companies. Many don't see the shift yet. And talking to some of them after like experiencing whatever you're just describing, the kind of the feeling that you have an agent that's outside of your scope of agency that does stuff for you, that instead of asking it and it telling you how to do stuff, it does stuff. We're going to talk about OpenAI's Codex. Some of it is there. Some of the automation stuff is there. Some of the power is there. Definitely more secure than whatever. I would love to ask folks in the comments. We have over 500 folks listening. I would love to ask folks in comments, give us a little claw icon or whatever if you're using one of the OpenClaw things, and if you have any kind of like issues with security, also tell us. I know definitely that prompt injection is a big thing. There was also an RCE that we should tell you about. There was a exploit that somebody built for OpenClaw based on how it's going to go that changes its config for you. And basically, all you need to do is visit the website without clicks, without approvals, without anything. So that's definitely, I think it was patched, but still a very, very like a scary thing that's happened. So this was a very cool tech that when nobody knew about this and nobody tried to exploit, this was like super cool. Now it's an actual danger. I will say we work at Weights and Biases CoreWeave. The CoreWeave security team reached out and said, hey, no open clause on any like legit company device. Nothing. You just cannot have this vector of attack. It's like too vast. So while it's fun and cool to have it on a dedicated machine, folks, be careful out there. Please be careful out there. Alrighty. So
just one thing.
All right,
also note that this is not specific to OpenClaw, because if you use Claude Code and you go to a GitHub repository and ingest the PRs and stuff, so the attack vectors are there as well. It's just usually not connected to as many externally or personal resources. So, but always make sure that you take control. Even a web search could inject something, so it affects all AI agents basically.
The thing that I want to highlight as the big thing for me for this week, and I think we'll then dive into the TLDR. The big thing for me this week was because of this explosion of OpenClaw. Another thing started happening super quick, and this is the agents internet, or Clankernet, as I want to call this, Clankernet. A lot of websites starting to pop up specifically for agents. They all have pretty much the same UI. I think Moldbook, which is kind of like the Reddit for these agents that supposedly they write and open subreddits for themselves. Moldbook exploded to like 1 million registered agents, etc. But then super quickly, people just started churning out websites. And you guys know with vibe coding how easy this is. You just like ask your thing to build a website clone. So there is now Instagram, there's YouTube, there is a church that I would like to tell you about for Moldbooks. There is just a whole kind of parallel internet starting to be propped up. And that is a very interesting vibe shift for me. A lot of these websites in the beginning have like a selection. I'm a human, I'm a bot. And by default, like I'm a bot is selected. So like they're geared towards these AI assistants. And that is a very interesting development. We'll tell you about a few of them, specifically the kind of the more interesting ones. This is definitely kind of a new shift. Now, whether it's a temporary fluke or a holding power and the internet is going to become for agents, I don't know why they would need websites generally. So I think it's all kind of like it's kind of like an art piece that's happening live in real time. We're experiencing this all together. Definitely Maltbook is the biggest one, so we'll definitely mention this. This is to me the highlight of this week of something that you should know. A lot of stuff are happening on the agentic Clanker net that we will talk to you about. With this, I think it's time for us to dive into TLDR, folks. We have a bunch of stuff, just an incredible amount of stuff to run through, including an interview with VB from OpenAI about Codex, the app that is now 1 million active users, 600,000 downloads, whatever. We're gonna definitely mention this, and also supposedly something is coming down the pike today in terms of breaking news from Sam Altman, so we will cover this as well. Let's go into the TLDR. Meanwhile, I will say I want to introduce another segment my co-hosts don't know about yet. In the middle of the show, I would love a hot take segment. I would love a hot take. So, folks, prepare your hot takes.
Oh, I like it. Let's do it.
In the middle of the show, I would love to just like tap on each one of you and then give you the floor for a hot take that you are currently experiencing. I have one ready to go. If folks in comments have hot takes of their own, feel free to hold them until that corner in about 45 minutes or so. Let's go to TLDR. Alrighty, this is the TLDR. This is the corner on Thursday where we talk about everything that happened and everything we're going to mention during the show. So if you don't have that much time, you can just listen to the TLDR for a few minutes and then you will be up to date completely. Also note the TLDR is not complete because a lot of news are happening as we are doing the show as breaking news. So if you're listening to this and something else happened, make sure to listen to the rest of the show. But TLDR is here nonetheless, and we're going to start with open source. I'm going to zoom in. Before this, I'll just mention that on the show today we have Alex Volkov, your AI evangelist with weights and biases from Corby. What's up, folks? Nice to meet you. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you. We also have Jan Peleg, Wolf from Ravenwolf. Nistan Tahir is going to join us again. LDJ confirmed. LDJ and Ryan Carson, our co-hosts and panelists for the show. Today's guest is going to be Reach VB from OpenAI talking about Codex. So we're gonna have a great conversation with them. Let's dive into open source LLMs. Wolfram, you want to take this TLDR super quick?
Yeah, let me take it. So the open source world has received some new toys to play with, and actually useful toys. Wait, my keyboard is messed up here right now. Okay, so ZAI launched GLM OCR 0.9b parameter model, which is an OCR model basically. Has claimed already the #1 spot on the OmniDoc benchmark with a very high score and is outperforming even larger models like Gemini 3 Pro and GPT-5 variants. It excels at complex understanding of tasks, including formula recognition, table parsing, and information extraction. Especially tables can quickly confuse visual models, which I have noticed. So if it's better at that, that's a great advancement. It's built on GLMV encoder architecture, and is MIT licensed. Already available for VLLM, SGLang, and Ollama. So basically, in short, this one. Should I keep going with the other open source?
Yeah, let's do Quen next, and then I'll move to the next ones.
Okay, Quen 3 Coder next. This is of particular interest, of course, to us who are running coding agents and agents in general. It is an ATB MOE with just 3 billion active parameters. It scores very highly on the SWE bench, and it's by Alibaba Quen. What is special about this? It's basically useful for coding and agentic tasks, and it's a direct competitor, I would say, to GLM 4.7, which is also a model you can run on your own hardware and very strong agentically. I think, it fits in the same spot.
Yep.
Look, everyone is using today agents for Actually, we're in the TLDR.
TLDR, yeah. I noticed. I noticed.
Let's stay in the TLDR. Let's stay in the TLDR.
I noticed you're starting to heat up. We'll get there. All right, folks, I'm going to move forward. Shanghai AI Lab releases Intern S1 Pro. Intern LM, like we've talked about Intern multiple times. This one is 1 trillion parameter. Oh, I'm not showing you anything, so I'm just talking. So, well, I'm just going to show you something. Intern LM is 1 trillion parameter open source MOE model with 512 experts. They claim state-of-the-art on scientific reasoning across chemistry, biology, materials, and more. So this is a very interesting one. Not for the everyday use, but definitely, state-of-the-art on scientific reasoning. We want AIs to fix our health. So the more of this open source, the better. I absolutely shout out to Intern folks. And Step Fund releases Step 3.5 Flash. It's a sparse MOE with only 11 billion parameters. They claim frontier reasoning achievement at 100 to 350 tokens per second, and you can see the kind of the AI ME scores on this one, and we're going to talk about Step Fund as well. So a bunch of open source releases in the LLM. There's a bunch of other ones in the kind of the audio space, so I'm going to just move on. I definitely would love to cover things that are happening in the internet with the agentic AI segment. Cloudbook absolutely exploded with over 1 million supposedly agents joining this. There's a thing called Mole Church, and there's just a bunch of others. I definitely would love to kind of have a conversation on this panel about the agentic internet, because I think it's a phenomenon that will skip many people because they are not part of whatever circles we are at. But I think it's very, very important. This feels like a big thing to discuss. And also, I want to mention what I mean by the AI psychosis. I definitely want to make sure that we're not, to an extent that we're not a party of delivering the psychosis waves down towards the internet, towards you. So definitely we need to make sure that this is something that I started noticing for many folks. We are having folks, we may have breaking news, by the way, but we're not speculating. So if breaking news are coming, breaking news will come. If there's no breaking news, we will not speculate and be wrong. We've seen this happen, I think, with V0 stuff that they had to delete a tweet. Let's move on to big news going forward. OpenAI launched actually two things. The biggest one, this Codex app. This is a standalone macOS app. I think Linux as well, but I think macOS app, dedicated command center for managing multiple AI coding agents in parallel with the GPT 5.2 Codex Max extra high. The naming is ridiculous, but basically you can now you don't have to have a terminal. You can just go in there and ask for stuff and it will do it, and it's great. And again, we have an interview about Codex with VB from OpenAI very soon. OpenAI also launched Frontier, which is a agentic marketplace. I don't have this here on the notes, but agentic marketplace for enterprise agents to work and collaborate together in a safe way. So AI agentic workflow is coming to everyone. In this week's Buzz, where we keep you up to date about everything weights and biases and CoreWeave, here is me, here's Wolfram, here's a bunch of other winners of the hackathon that we managed in San Francisco. Over 180 folks came out, including listeners of the show. So shout out to everybody who listened to the show and also came out to the hackathon. It was a great vibe. We're going to tell you a little bit about this and the projects that won. The little guy that's holding a big check is 15 years old and he won, and this is his third Weave Hacks, and I'm very, very proud of Savir and his teammates. In Vision and Video is absolutely on fire because Grok Imagine, we told you about Grok Imagine last week. Grok Imagine last week came out in the API, so you for the first time could actually use the whatever multimedia stuff from XAI. Grok Imagine now is also in the in the official 1.0 release, 10-second generation 720p videos and native audio and talks, and basically it's now taking number one spots across Design Arena and LM Arena, or aka just Arena. We also had Kling. If you guys remember Kling, the video model, I think it's the absolute state of the art right now across everything, though not measured. Launches all-in-one AI video creation, native multimodal generation, multi-shot sequences, and built-in audio. So most of the video models now have built-in audio, and that's just like fire. Some of the Kling generations still look AI. Some of them look just absolutely bonkers. We'll show you some of them and play some clips because just you have to see to believe it. Voice and audio is a big category here. Anybody keen on like covering the voice and audio releases super quick? If not, I can just run through them. I can run from OpenBNB releases mini CPM. We talked to you about Omni models before. Omni models are kind of like models that can listen and get text and images in the input, and then also talk and maybe also output text. There's a concept called full duplex where Omni models can listen while you talk and also react while you react, also interrupt you. OpenBNB claims to release the first full open source full duplex Omni model, can see, listen, and speak simultaneously with you, and also kind of like it listens while it talks. So like interruptions are going to get better. And also they claim that this model is the first one that can interrupt you. You know how you talk to AI models and then like it starts talking and you say something and the model kind of shuts up. This model can interrupt you in return. So this is something I definitely want to see. I played with it. I wasn't super impressed. But the very impressive thing that happened, Mistral AI, you guys remember Mistral, obviously, released Voxtrol. And two things that I have to wonder. One of them is, until what point will Mistral be able to release models that are named after Mistral in some sort of way? Because Voxtrol kind of sounds like Mistral, Doxtrol. They have a bunch of them. But Voxtrol Transcribe 2 is state-of-the-art transcription, so no longer Whisper. 3 years of Thursday AI, Whisper has been like at the top. Voxtrol is state-of-the-art speech-to-text with diarization, which is very cool. Apache 2 license, and we basically can run this right now, and you can see that even if I speak super duper fast, Voxtrol will pick this up with high accuracy. And then the last thing is this is the one that Wolfer mentioned, AceStep 1.5. This is Suno at home. This is basically an AI music generator running on a very low hardware, like 1090, whatever, that you can tune into and build music, great music, and it's an MIT license. Right. Last but not least, I think, I think two things. Well, last but not least is the Lingbot World. This is if we showed you Genie 3 yesterday in the middle of the show, this was breaking news. We had some footage and we played around with Genie 3, the world generator. Apparently, there is, I haven't been able to play with this, but supposedly there's a 10-minute model from Lingbot that kind of looks like built on Alibaba One and Lingbot World playable interactive environments for up to 10 minutes. Folks, I was not able to confirm this. I was not able to find one place that serves this model. I was not able to find anything beyond videos, but the same thing happened with Genie 3. We only saw videos. So I don't know, but it looks absolutely dope. And if we have 10 minutes, then you feel the acceleration curve jumping even more. All right, this has been the TLDR, and I'm speeding up because it's already 9 a.m. Pacific, and we need to start talking about open source because we have a big show. So yeah, we're gonna do open source, and let's get it going. Open source AI, let's get it started. Alrighty, let's get started with open source, a favorite corner, which we dedicate a lot of time to usually, but this time I think we're gonna focus on one main release from Qwen. Before we do, though, I will say, if you have comments about OCR and the reasons for OCR, GLM OCR is definitely now claims to be a state-of-the-art OCR solution. OCR stands for optical character recognition, and when that term was invented, just character recognition was difficult. Now we're talking about full tables and documents and formula recognition, etc. Recently, we had DeepSeek release an OCR and an update OCR. So DeepSeek definitely stepped into this. The reason why most of these companies are releasing these specific types of models is because they all want to build synthetic data sets and actual data sets. And what way to build those data sets is from reading like a bunch of books and text and papers, etc. So GLM from ZAI released GLM OCR. Some folks in the comments told us they're very bullish on the ZAI upcoming IPO, etc. So it looks like this company is releasing a bunch of stuff. Obviously, GLM 4.7 is still an incredible model for coding. So ZAI is not stopping. So shout out to them. Supposedly much faster than Paddle OCR, and with only 0.9 billion parameters, 900 million. We don't usually talk in millions of parameters. Anything notable about this release, folks, before we move on?
Well, it has an open source license, which is great because we had featured a couple of weeks back another OCR model which was not available in Europe. So this is great.
Every time an open source license is mentioned on the show, we're gonna do the applause because we are big proponents of open source here, and we love talking about open source. This is why this is the first corner. If you need any type of digitizing of books, etc., now you have a new competitor. Right. So this is GLM OCR. Let's talk about some facts on it. Benchmarks: 1.8 pages per second to PDF documents and 0.67 images per second for images, with great reports for speed. So if you need this, this is for you. We're also going to mention Intern S1 Pro. It's a 1 trillion parameter for scientific reasoning among chemistry, biology, materials, and earth sciences. The person on the panel that we need to help us cover this instance stepped out for a little bit, but this is a comparison chart from Intern S1 to Quen and Kimi, and you can see absolute mogging on the scientific benchmark, right? So the left column here is all for Intern S1 Pro, and you can see them comparing, to other open source models, even GPT 5.2 and Gemini Pro, and you can see the huge gap here for something like scientific reasoning, 55.5% to Intern S1 Pro, whereas even Gemini 3 Pro gets like 14 points. I'm not familiar with this benchmark, but I'm just seeing the absolute crazy jumps from this model. Small molecule reasoning evaluation, they get 74, whereas other models get maybe 60. So definitely a huge jump when a model is fine-tuned for this specific thing, whereas general models can generally do things. I kind of like specific models. I like fine-tune specific models for use cases. Folks, any comments? Yeah,
who is running this?
Shanghai AI Lab.
No. I'm saying who is running this? I get who made this, but
yeah.
I mean, that's 1 trillion parameters for scientific reasoning, and I mean, you got to ask, what did they train this for? That's not a small investment of money.
Yeah.
And who is running this? What are they doing with this? And it's pretty crazy to see that the other frontier models are not that good on these benchmarks. It really it really paints this model built different,
No.
Because it's not just a little bit better than frontier on sciences. You see benchmarks that it, just like you said, completely mugs everybody else. So who's running this? It's 1 trillion parameters. That's expensive to run. What can you do with this?
I like how
open questions.
We go into the Hugging Face, and the kind of the main image there is AGI for science. This is what Intern LM is building. We've talked about Intern LM multiple times before. They have Intercoder, Intermath, a bunch of them. So this is a big model, and it has almost 4,000 downloads. Yeah, so almost 4,000 people, or starts of download this 1 trillion parameter model to run on scientific endeavors. Right. So shout out to InterLM. Also, I think Apache 2 licensed, also open source, huge MOE for this. Small potatoes before the big course here as well. StepFun releases Step 3.5 Flash. StepFun also Chinese models, folks, just like Chinese models everywhere this week. 196 billion parameters with only 11 active. They claim frontier reasoning with up to 300 tokens per second. Here we see an AIME comparison to even Gemini and Code Opus. So AIME.
We don't see, Alex. We don't see. Just saying.
Thank you. Yep. So here you can see the AIME scores for these models for StepFun. We can also see HMMT, but these Yeah, live code bench is okay for coding. So you can see the comparison to Kimi K2 and GLM. They're taking 86.4 on live code bench, whereas GLM is 84%. DeepSeek people still add, though DeepSeek hasn't released anything for over a year or half a year at least. Terminal bench 50%, not too bad. Very, very close to kind of frontier labs, and definitely looks like beating everything open source. And it's a very small model. And Swibench verified at 74. Which is very impressive. They didn't add Quen here, so the meme was like, "Where's Quen? Where's Quen?" The meme is still alive. StepFun is 196 parameters. Sweetbench verified is very high. I think this is the highlight. Terminal bench is very high as well. And then it runs on Mac Studio, and you can completely run this model. And I think they're boasting the speed with 350 tokens per second with a free usage tier on their API level. So if you are into testing another model, StepFun is free. And I think many of these models can be like Ralph, like Nissan said. Now, having covered all of this, let's talk about Quen Coder next. And I think this is not the right graphic, so we're going to move on from this graphic. I think we picked up the previous one. Folks, you were super excited with this model. So let's first announce what this is, the parameters, and let's talk about why it's so exciting, yeah? Quen, our friends from Quen, Alibaba Tongi Lab, released Quen 3 Coder Next. It's an 80 billion MOE coding agent with only 3 billion parameters active, getting like 250,000 tokens in the context window, up to 1 million with Yarn, and trained on 7.5 trillion tokens. Now, what's so special about this? It gets 70% on Sweetbench Verified and 44% Sweetbench Pro. The Quen folks are absolutely gunning with a specific coding model, and I think with some quantization, this can run on many MacBooks. Yeah, this is this kind of excitement. Talk to me why this is exciting, folks.
Bro, I maxed out 3 and Claude Max subs this week alone, orchestrating agents. So if you give me a good orchestrator agent that can do general computer use, just picking up tools, not something overly complex like Opus developed code, but even just picking up the right tool, orchestrating stuff and calling stronger agents, but unlimited locally. Oh man, I'm taking this one seriously.
Yep.
So I think that's everyone is open clawing now. That's pretty much the prime use case. Like if you want an example, what you can do with this is this exactly like open claw on general computer use with a local model.
Jan, what kind of specs do you need then on the machine that's running OpenClaw to run the model?
I think the maxed out Mac Minis are really good. For I don't know how many tokens per second you're gonna get, and if you can and what quantization you can. But I just heard that people are using the high tier Mac Minis for those type of things, and they're pretty happy with, and they're not that expensive for what you get. So
that makes sense.
and everybody is buying Mac Minis now for OpenClaw anyway. So
yeah, but everybody's buying the base version Mac Mini with 16 gigabytes RAM. This likely will not run on 16 because it's a 80 gigabyte MOE. Although they do have this hybrid attention thing, so this is kind of the thing that I wanted to talk about a little bit. This is the Quen's next architecture. They call it next architecture, novel architecture with hybrid attention and MOE. Quen Coder agentically trained at scale large executable tasks, environment interaction, and reinforcement learning, and it achieves some very decent scores. So we can take a look at coding agent benchmarks. Sweetbench verified. This model is a significantly smaller model than GLM 4.7 or Kimi K 2.5, and it gets 70% on Sweetbench verified. But it's comparatively very small model. This 64 gigabyte for at least a Q5, Q6 is what we're getting in the comments from Milos. So you can run this on a M4 MacBook with 64 gigabytes, and you can get a decent decent performance. Sweetbench multilingual is also a very high score for this model. A very interesting flip, if you guys can see on the screen. So Sweetbench verified is mostly Python tasks for Django, and it's very interesting that other models are beating this one. This one is at 70.6. But if you zoom in here and you see Sweetbench Pro, Sweetbench Pro is a set of significantly harder tasks for software engineers, and you can see that this model mogs the other ones at 44% for Sweetbench Pro. Terminal Bench 2.0 gets here at 36%. Didn't we just look and see that the step model gets significantly higher scores in Terminal Bench? I want to go and take a look for a second. I don't usually do cross comparisons within the news that we have, but Step Fund said the Terminal Bench, they get 51%. 51.
So I want to comment on this real quick.
Yeah.
I think what Yam is talking about is very important, that as soon as we have an open source model that's good enough to be your primary orchestrator, your primary model on OpenClaw, everything changes, right? Everything, right?
Yep.
Right now, we're all paying for Opus 4.5 basically to run OpenClaw because it works. And this is why I think a lot of us are running OpenClaw on a local machine. We need the compute. We want the privacy. I think that's going to continue. And so as soon as these models are good enough, it's going to really unlock everything, right?
Yeah.
So I think we're all excited about that.
100%. And we've been excited. LDJ, go ahead. I didn't see your hand there.
Yeah, I think something to note with the difference between the step fund model and the Quen model here. The step fund model is about 3 times more total parameters and active parameters than the Quen model. So I think while it might technically be a bit better overall, and I think it would make sense for it to be a bit better overall, I think the Quen 3 model is kind of the better bang for your buck probably, and it's just going to run significantly faster and smaller memory footprint.
It's only 3 billion parameters active. This is insane. Yep. This is kind of I think the scale with 80 billion parameters overall, and there's just 3 billion active. You can basically run this on a bunch of GPUs. I think that's the big part. So absolutely incredible. Go ahead, Wolfram.
And the context side, this has 256K, while its competitor, I would say, GLM 4.7 Flash only has 128K. And since this can even be expanded with the ARM to 1 million tokens, you are basically in a reach where you can use it like you can use the bigger models like Gemini or even the Opus, which is by 200K to 1 million, depending on which one you use. So basically, it makes it possible to use the context much better. Yeah, that is a big thing for the coding and agentic stuff.
So we have a comment right here on the infographic that local deployment you can get to run this model under 48 gigabytes of RAM with Unsloth GGUF, and shout out to Danielle Hunt from Unsloth for doing just incredible compressors of models to be able to run them locally. It's quantized, but it definitely still runs and runs well. And we keep talking to you about orchestration and keep trying things and verifying this. And the local models can absolutely do this. Apologies. What else do we have to say here? Use a scalable agent RL system running 20,000 independent environments in parallel on Alibaba cloud infrastructure. The scale of this is absolutely insane, folks. The folks at Quen know what they're doing. We've been talking about Quen models for a while, and we're not the only ones that are looking at something like OpenClaw Explosion and Ralph loops and agentic coding in general and saying, oh, this changes the world. We're definitely not the only ones. There's a lot of harnesses coming out of China. They're doing some incredible engineering stuff. So definitely worth noticing the next architecture coming out of Quen, specifically because it's a hybrid architecture as well. So supposedly, this is what makes it run faster on smaller devices. They want to run higher throughputs of tokens on smaller GPUs as well, and this is kind of self-serving from them from that point as well. I think in the spirit of open source, and also we have to absolutely. You can run this on LM Studio and together on Cloud Code. You can run this on a bunch of open source. So shout out to the folks at Quen, Alibaba, for making this this model available for us. And if you have experienced this model, you play with it, and you have comments, just let us know. A short I think a short move to the other open source things that we have in the voice and audio before we move on to Build Labs and agentic coding interface, because we often kind of separate between the LLMs in open source and the other stuff, but definitely the voice and audio open source has been on blast this week. So let's talk about this a little bit, because essentially here's I hate this phrase where it meets reality. Every time I read this phrase, meets reality, I was like, no, ChatGPT asshole wrote this.
We're losing Alex.
Oh,
Alex, come
Alex.
Yep,
back.
I can't hear him either. Can't see him either.
What is Wolfred
Wolfred-
doing with his connection?
Yeah.
I was sure it's just me and my network.
Nope,
No.
it's open.
At least he
Open
throws
Claw.
it a good pose.
Open Claw is up to something. What's his is called Wolfred or something? Is that right?
Yeah.
Wolfred,
We just see his camera change to a lobster. Hello, I'm in charge of the podcast.
Did you all
I
see
think war
that?
has begun.
Did you all see Open Claw showed up on Claire Vaux's podcast?
No, I didn't see that.
It was hilarious. Like it just logged in to Riverside.
Oh, we see you again, Alex. We see you.
Alex, you're here.
I'm back.
We were joking if Wolfred took over.
Did you have to pull the plug to get back?
See, this is not funny. No, it's kind of funny. Hopefully not. Folks, I did switch Wi-Fi networks and now I'm here. Thanks for holding the show. Let's continue to the voice stuff. So OpenBAB released mini CPM. We talked about Omni models. This is why the move is kind of natural, because this is I put this under the voice and audio category, but this is an Omni model. This is an LLM that's traced on some of the Quen Omni stuff. I think we should try this one out. It's a full duplex Omni model. What does full duplex mean? Full duplex means that this model can listen basically while it talks, right? So like if anything happens behind the scenes, it can watch a live video and ingest an input of text and audio and images as well, and it's very conversational to a sense. So as you know, and as we talked about, like voice agents, the more we run them, the more kind of people want to talk to them. They usually have the same setup. Usually there's a TTS at the start that listens to you, transforms whatever you say into text. Then there's an LLM in the middle that you can switch the brains and it becomes better. And then there is a speech to text, text to speech model on the other side, right? So like basically you turn text into I'll start again. You turn speech into text, you send this text into an LLM, and then this LLM generates voice based on some model or another. There's a bunch of developments in speeding up this whole process. Omni models basically do all of this within the same model, which makes it sometimes significantly faster, not necessarily better, because the LLM underneath is not like the best LLM. You won't be able to use Opus, for example. So this model is a very, very like high performant LLM on its own, right? So we can see examples. It's just 9 billion parameters, but it gets like Omni doc OCR performance because it needs to detect video. 10 frames per second video ingestion, gets images with 1.8 million pixels. So very, very, very cool model. And so it can see and listen and speak simultaneously. So like ingest new videos while it still speaks with no external VAD needed. So let's I want to test this guy. You guys want to take a look super quick? Let's see if we can get an example. So I did test this before. I was not super impressed, but maybe together we can be impressed. Let me see if you can do it. And obviously this model runs locally, so you can run this model. It's only like 9 billion parameters or so. Streaming demo. All right. In order to do streaming demo, I need to give me 1 second with sound. Yeah. All right. So now we're seeing kind of a blank screen. I think it's English. Let me switch to English. Real-time video call in duplex mode. Yeah. So we're gonna hit start chat. I'm gonna show it something. It's probably gonna open a different camera for me. It's a little bit blurry, but hey, this is fine. Hey, what can you tell me about what I'm holding right now?
Oh, you are holding a can of Waterloo Blackberry.
Yeah, I didn't really interrupt you, but keep going.
Okay.
I think there's some feedback happening, and so it interrupts itself. But definitely didn't
Yeah,
happen
maybe.
when I did this. Maybe I'll just mute when it speaks. Yeah. Let's try again. Hey, tell me what I'm holding right now. What is on this can?
Waterloos.
No, it looks like there's some feedback. But basically, you guys can see that it detects videos super quick, but it also responds and like it waits for interruption. The duplex mode should be able to kind of continue talking while I speak, but I think that it tries to like be very nice and not speak when I speak. Is that true?
Yeah, I've noticed similar issues actually with I remember the Moshi model.
No.
And similar models that are, especially when they're smaller, and I guess they have to make some trade-offs or biases of it's going to have some inaccuracies. So should you maybe just leave the inaccuracies as it originally is, or bias it more towards being more careful and being more conservative about pausing, or should it just like only pause very rarely? And maybe this is one of those trade-offs they decided to make when they're doing that post-training.
Yeah, 100%. I played with it a little bit and I asked it a few questions. I can't say that I'm like absolutely blown away. I think we've gotten to a point where the standard kind of 3-prong approach with, the way that I described it before kind of works for most people. But that approach does not necessarily work with video, right? So like it's very difficult to build agents that can see in real time while they speak and ingest whatever's happening on the screen super quick, and you can say and now what happens now. So this model definitely does this. I think the some just like technical setup prevents it from responding to us. It's just because of the feedback loop that we have here. Kind of it probably hears itself to itself.
Yeah, I had the same issues when I tried it. But what surprised me is that it greeted me in German. I don't know why it did that. I didn't start speaking in German to it, but it talked German at first. So maybe they checked my location or whatever. It was very funny because it has this Japanese accent that you also notice in English, but in Germany it was even heavier. And yeah, let's see how it really does when we use it for something. But I'm not too impressed right now either.
Yeah, I wasn't blown away. I wasn't definitely blown away. Let's try this maybe one more time and then see. Let's give this one more try, and then we'll move on to the music stuff because there's a lot to talk about still. And we're loading.
Just to be clear, this is a Hugging Face base from the company themselves, not a third-party one.
Yeah, this is their own one, and we have a chatbot example, but chatbot is not like super interesting. But basically, I can show this super quick. They have an ability to upload videos, which is also fairly novel still, folks. Not a lot of models are understanding videos, and this is kind of like one big problem. So for this one, again, this is not even, I don't believe it's on Hugging Face, it's like some IP somewhere probably in China. So you can chat with video, you can upload videos, and you can upload images with few shot, and Mini CPM understands this. So you can upload the video. Let's see if we can find the video super quick. Yeah, let's upload this as 12 megabytes. It should be all right. It's going to take a while. And then we'll ask what happens on this video. Again, this is a very small model. This is what, like 9 billion parameters? So achieving whatever we talk about here in 9 billion parameters is very, very impressive. It's like very impressive, like getting video, but we'll see with what kind of quality it will understand the video. I'm not expecting too much from a model that's only 9 billion parameters, but being able to talk to it, I think it's absolutely dope. So I'm going to keep this running behind the scenes while if something comes up, I'll tell you. Meanwhile, we should move on because we have other things here. So this is OpenBNB Mini CPM. We should talk about Mistral. And Mistral releases Voxtral, and they claim that this is state-of-the-art absolutely state-of-the-art transcription service, and so we shall see. We will all talk, and hopefully this will hear. So let me share my screen. Luckily for STT demos, the ASR demos, we don't need audio. So we're going to show you a Voxtrol demo on the Mistral side. Whereas we're going to show you some stats as well. I think it's very cool to see that Mistral is releasing state of the arts again. So we can see Voxtrol transcribe here for different languages, and we can see this is world error rate. So basically, how well does the model perform, and on what percentage do they fail at words? You can see in Italian and Spanish, Voxtrol real time is significantly low than. I'm actually not sure what this chart shows. Can you guys help me understand what happens here? Because it's the same model, but it shows milliseconds, and based on milliseconds, it shows word error rate. So we're looking at the ability to transcribe better the more time it has to process. Am I understanding this correctly? We don't know. Let's look at another one. Yeah, the lower the better. Thank you, folks, from the comments. Lower the better is clear to me, but I don't understand this graphic from Mistral because it's kind of the same model. It's likely how long it takes to transcribe something, but we want to play with this. Playground, Mistral Studio, here, I believe. No, there was an open one. There's definitely an open one that we want to get to. Free testing. Oh, okay, yeah. Let's go to Mistral. I have this login. While I find this, if folks, you want to pick up and explain where Mistral was and why it's so important for them to come back, feel free to pick this up.
I think Mistral's probably, they're still being looked at as one of the premier AI labs in Europe, or probably the most funded besides, I mean, if you consider DeepMind or London to still be part of Europe, there's the EU versus Europe, all that. But in terms of the EU, at least, Mistral, they were founded by some of the people that previously led projects at Metafair and things like Llama, and released things like the original Mistral model, which I'd say is probably one of the first big, important, and practically usable MOE models in open source. And this came even before things like before we had DeepSeek and things like that really come onto the scene and popularize MOE as well in open source. So I do hope they end up having kind of more of a prowess in their open source releases here, because a lot of spotlight has been taken by companies like Kimi and a lot of the Chinese labs since then.
Yep, 100%. It looks like the demo that we need requires an API key, so I'm just gonna create one super quick, but I'm gonna show you Mistral API. I'm gonna copy this behind the scenes so you guys don't see, paste this guy here. And it should be listening to audio, and let's go. So technically, if I talk very fast, and my name is Alex, and I work at Weights and Biases, supposedly, it's very hard for transcription models to pick up. But it looks like no matter how fast I speak, this model picks up beautifully. So this is Mistral's Voxtrol, and it's really hard to capture these words, but it's doing a very, very good job. You guys want to go? Who wants to try?
That
Well,
thing is
you're-
impressive.
In
That
German.
thing is impressive.
Does it hear me?
May not be able to hear you guys
Oh.
through the microphone because it picks up the microphone and not the loop back. We can. I think I have.
That's also a great thing about Mistral, because they are EU based, so they have a lot of languages to cover. And when they do something, they usually do it for a lot of languages, not just English or Chinese. So that's also a big advantage when they release something.
Yeah. So yeah, it doesn't look like it can hear you, so you aren't able to try. But again, I'm gonna speak super quick. Let me reset this because I think we timed out. Clear history, and yeah. So the benefit of using something like Mistral on top of other models is because Mistral is known to be running super fast on devices, and it's a European model, so they train the model super quick to support many European languages as well. So this model supposedly is multilingual, так что я могу начинать говорить на русском. Может быть, это тоже сработает? Oh, we got a translation. All right, folks. So I
That was
started
cool.
speaking.
Wait. That's live translation.
That was live translation. Okay, so let's see. Let's see how this is gonna work. I'm gonna clear this. Всем привет, меня зовут Алекс. Я работаю в компании, которую зовут... No, see? Now
Okay,
it
that's
transcribes
interesting.
me in Russian. But at some point, it started translating automatically. So the same happened to Whisper. If you guys remember Whisper kind of like, there was a flag there. You could throw on Whisper and then like it would translate. I actually built a whole company on top of this called Targum. Shout out Targum. But Whisper was never near real time this close. And everything that I say, like stuff like OpenAI, Anthropic, and Claudebot and everything, it picks them up very, very well. I'm very, very impressed. Now, again, a timeout.
This connects to exactly what we saw before. That's the different approach. This is why these models exist, like for fast transcription, for near real time, so you can simulate end-to-end conversation with voice, with all vibe codings and so on. We just saw a full duplex model that is basically end-to-end and embedded to be end-to-end voice model. But this one is for the other approach. If you want to construct it yourself, build it yourself. And I can tell you, as someone that is doing this, it's very impressive, it's very hard, this is very useful for sure, but everyone is doing this right now. Like everyone, open clause of everyone working with voice. So better transcription models are absolutely important at this point in time, especially if you can run them at home.
Yeah, if you think that behind the scenes, while you describe this, I'm not adding a Mistral API key to my Wolfra to go and figure out how to transcribe better, then I have another thing coming to you. So
you're gonna be left behind. You need the agent to listen to the podcast and transcribe it and go on its own to do stuff. You don't even need to tell it.
Is how it would do it. And again, let me just, I want to impress on you guys how fast this is. We've seen real-time transcription models before. Но до этого они не работали на разных языках. I really wanted to translate. Folks, I don't know how to force this into translation, but I really wanted to translate so I can speak Russian and you guys will understand. And I don't know quite how this happens. It's probably in the model parameters. It's probably like accepting everything.
It seems like it did it when you suddenly transitioned into Russian, like didn't stop. Try that.
Or maybe try like prompt injecting it, like maybe first saying, hey, I want everything I'm about to say to be in English and then speak in Russian.
Everything that I'm going to say from now on is going to be in English. Привет, меня зовут Алекс. Nope. But it's stupid fast. I'm okay. So we definitely going to build a skill for our assistants to be able to listen to the show with us, right? This is how it works. Somehow it will open up, listen to the show, transcribe everything, and we'll know by the end of the show. The cool thing about this, let me actually get back to the actual show. The cool thing about this is diarization, folks. Diarization is the process of understanding that different people are talking, and you can see the languages. You can see the absolute low price here. It's super cheap, significantly cheaper than other ones. Open Weights Apache 2 license, 4 billion parameters. You can run this on. This one can run on a Mac Mini. Like this one can run on the Mac Mini real time and listen to some stuff. Apps like guys, this is like apps like Super Whistler and everything. Like this is basically a killer feature. Robust to noise and word level timestamps, 3-hour files. So supposedly immediately after we finish Thursday, we can drop a file in there and it will transcribe. It's 10 times cheaper than Google, and Open Weights is just amazing. So shout out to Mistral for this.
Wait a second. That's like in the context 3 hours single shot, or what are we talking about here? So
Whisper, when it came out, it wasn't for real time, so you won't be able to talk to Whisper. You would just upload the file, and Whisper I think was like 2 or 2.5 hours. You have to split otherwise, but this one is this says 3 hours files, not in chunks. We can look at what this actually means, but this is outperforming all of the other APIs available.
Whisper
I'm very happy
was
with this.
never even close to this. Whisper is much smaller, the model. much smaller. You
Whisper-
might run it in, in loops and like transcribe whatever you
Yeah.
want. But if this is a single shot, 3 hours, like, come on, that's next level. Seriously.
So we have, if you guys remember InWorld TTS, we talked about last week. InWorld did a demo with Mistral for that process of like agentic end-to-end things. I want to show you the demo super quick. So we just saw an Omni model and it kind of failed on us, the demo. But let me try and show you a demo here with sound. Hopefully this will work. This is in English. And this demo specifically shows you the price that you would pay with Mistral plus InWorld versus other labs. And you can see the ticker goes up as I'm talking about. Hey, bot, how are you doing? I can't hear anything. You guys can hear anything? Nope. The bot does not want to answer to us. Let's try something else. Let's try refresh.
Oh,
It started, right? It started something. Let me start again. Hey, bot.
hello there. How are you doing today?
How are you doing today? Why are you so happy when you're supposed to be sad?
Oh, I'm just trying to put on a brave face. I'm actually feeling a bit down today.
All right, tell me a story super quick.
There was a little old robot named Spock.
Spock loved exploring the world, but he was always curious about the stars. One night he decided to build a spaceship and travel to the moon. With a little help from his friends, Spock launched his spaceship and reached
Okay,
Moon.
that's cool. Tell us something else in German.
Wusstest du, dass die Eiffelturm in Paris jedes Jahr etwa 15 Zentimeter wächst? Das liegt daran, dass das Eisen, aus dem gebaut ist, sich bei warmer Witterung ausdehnt.
Wolfram, how was that? Does this sound legit?
If I understood right, it messed up the gender of the Eiffelturm, but otherwise, very good.
Nice. So as you guys, for those who are just listening, we're seeing a demo from InWorld TTS and Mistral saying that this is the cheapest combo for these robots that talk, and they actually show you a progress of like cents as we talk, and you can see the other large labs, the pricing is growing significantly. So this demo is hosted InWorld Mistral demo, InWorld AI, and this is a part of the stack that you can use to build your OpenClaw conversations. All right, so this is cool. And I think the last thing that we want to talk about in audio before we do this week's buzz and continue is AceStep 1.5. And for this, I do have a demo, and I really hope it works because it's not in the tab. But folks, bear with me, folks, because this will be worth it. Basically, Wolfram, you want to introduce AceStep super quick because I know you have it. And you've talked about this.
Yeah, definitely. I just wanted to add quickly to something. This also has, the Mistral model also has live diarization, which means you could use it when multiple people talk to the agent. It can recognize with the owner and who are the other people, something like that. That could also be very interesting. Okay, let's talk about AceStep 1.5, which is an open source AI music generator, and it can generate full songs in just a few seconds. I was really impressed how fast it is. So it really feels like a local suno where you just enter some prompt, you can give it the lyrics or have it auto-generated, and it generates it, and you get, by default, I got 2, just like suno basically, and you can go ahead and test it out. It's on Pinocchio if anyone wants to easily install it. That is how I got it. 1 click, bam, got it, and could already use it very fast.
Pinocchio computer is also how I use this, folks. Sometimes you install these models, but if you're running local models, this app called Pinocchio, we talked to you about from Cocktail Peanut multiple times, is tracking the coolest open source models that you can run, not necessarily for LLMs, but definitely the video ones, etc. And this one is running on my Mac right now. Not even on GPU, and this generates songs super quick. This is Suno at home. Now, the quality of the songs is not quite as Suno, but it's very close there. But for an open source model running on your computer, nothing can beat this. So hopefully I'm gonna generate the song now, but I can play you the other Thursday AI ones. Let's see how they sound.
Thursday, February 5th, 2026.
Wait, I think we have some breaking news, folks. Do you guys tracking the breaking news? Like, I know I can. It's a bummer, and Ryan, I know you love some rock, but it's a bummer to stop the music.
Thursday.
So I'm gonna continue,
February
but
5th,
somebody bring me the link.
2026. 2026.
It's pretty good. I gotta say,
It's
I
not
like
too
it.
bad, right? For an open source model that was created for what 2 minutes on my MacBook, I think this is incredible. So we
Yeah,
don't know which.
We've become so desensitized to how amazing this stuff is.
This is just like music of created on your thing, and I want to shout out
can do it.
Yeah, I want to shout out this UI. This UI is a step AceStep 1.5 Open UI that's on Pinocchio. And I think generating with full MacBook while streaming to you maybe is not the best idea. So we're gonna keep this running. But meanwhile, I think that we have breaking news, folks. Let me see if I'm correct.
Oh,
yes,
we
folks.
we do.
All right, let's
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go to breaking news. AI breaking news coming at you only on Thursday Eye. All right, folks, it looks like folks are reporting that we have a new release
New opus. We got a new
Anthropic.
opus.
I don't
Let's
see it
go.
yet. Do you guys see it? I don't see it on
Opus
Anthropic.
5?
It's not on Anthropic's Twitter account, so maybe it's just
Or is it Sonnet 5?
Let me just show you how you show. Wait.
Oh my god, if it's Opus, I'm so happy.
Opus
So
4.6.
folks in comments saying that we have Opus 4.6.
Let's go.
Yeah. I don't see it yet. Oh, let's go, Yam. Zoom in, please. Dream bigger, do more. Opus 4.6.
That's not.
Can you zoom in? Let's see what's going on. Not on Anthropic yet, but folks are saying complete. This is in the Cloud app, yeah, Yam?
Mm-hmm.
Complete complex works hours in minutes, in hours, no, it's minutes. Do we know anything? We don't know anything.
Ooh, it says extended. That's interesting.
Yeah.
It says apparently, so I'm seeing something. It says Opus 4.6 has something called adaptive thinking, which Sonnet 4.5 does not have.
Oh, we have a shout out from Matt Wolf.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm getting rate limited.
All right.
Oh yeah.
We have, we have the announcement. Let's read through the announcement super quick. Thank you, Matt. We have the announcement, folks. Opus 4.6 is here, and we all have Opus 4.5. So I wonder what they added there. Introducing Cloud Opus 4.6. Let's watch the video together. Okay, how do I switch my OpenCloud to be on Opus 4.6 is the question. Let's read through this release, upgrading our smartest model. This is, I don't remember when they upgraded Opus and not like Sonnet or the other one, right? Like Haiku. This is incredible, folks.
I just posted benchmarks.
Yeah, let's go.
Alex, they timed it for the show, just so you know.
Yes, let's go. So, okay, definitely they have Cowork, which is many people use, and this will now be working in Cowork. Let's look at the evals here. This is knowledge work, GPT eval. We've talked about this is a state of the art in GDP eval. LDJ, you want to tell us what GDP eval is?
Yeah, GDP. Well, GDP val is
GDP val.
I think AA is the artificial analysis version. I think, but GDP val itself is. I think it's actually a benchmark developed by OpenAI. maybe OpenAI in collaboration with some other researchers. But the purpose is to try and measure the ability for AI models to do actually more economically valuable work and more tasks. It's still kind of more short time horizon biased compared to something like a remote labor index that Scale AI has developed. But it has a lot of things like kind of gig work and consulting and kind of shorter term contracting work that is actually economically valuable and in demand. So really impressive to see here, because GPT 5.2 was previously beating Opus 4.5 slightly in this. And now Opus 4.6 is a significant jump above that.
Yep. Agentic search, we have browser comp. Opus 4.6 is absolutely mugging everybody else at agentic search for browse comp. Coding, terminal bench 65, which I believe is very close to state of the art, if not state of the art at this point. And reasoning, humanity is last exam with tools or without tools. With tools, it gets 53 on multidisciplinary reasoning. This is
How is it doing
very
agentic?
impressive.
What are they calling agentic search?
I think it's just
what that is.
a browse comp. We can look at browse comp. High score in industry of a deep multi-step agentic search. I think it uses multiple tools and kind of like deep research. I'm not familiar with browse comp, but we should definitely be familiar. In Cloud Code, you can now assemble agent teams to work on tasks together. In the API, Cloud can use compaction to summarize its own context. I don't like compaction, but yeah. Introducing adaptive thinking, where the model can pick up on contextual clues about how much to use its extended thinking. The new effort controls to give developers more control over intelligence, speed, and cost.
Interesting, yeah. I also posted more benchmarks, like big columns and rows of benchmarks in the StreamYard chat.
Yeah. Let me take a look here. Thank you, LDJ. Let's see if we can switch this. All right. Big column. We're looking at a table comparing Opus 4.6 to 4.5 to Sonnet 4.5, Gemini 3 Pro, and GPT 5.2, and they're putting all models. And it looks like 4.6 is nearly state of the art on multiple things. So terminal bench, state of the art. Agentic coding, 0.1% less than 4.5. It's interesting. So it keeps the same kind of capability while improving others. Computer use is significantly improved. Look at this. From 66 at Opus 4.5 to 72 at 4.6. Agentic tool use for T2 bench is also improved and also state of the art. It gets 99%, almost entirely finishing this tool. Lower MCP tool use, MCP Atlas. So it was 62% for Opus 4.5.
They are moving away from MCPs. It seems.
You think moving towards writing code?
I think
Skills.
I think
it's moving towards skills.
Yeah.
Well, Wolfram, you wanna
skills, yeah.
you wanna shout it out? The
Yeah, I'm really excited that this is also the first time that Opus is having 1 million context token limit. So basically, it's in beta, but first Opus with this. Like the other big context models, they have different pricing. Up to 200K, it is $10 per million input-output tokens, and after 200K to a million, it is $37.50 per million.
Wow.
So it's expensive, but you can use it, and now there are more use cases available. I hate the compaction like you do, Alex. When it is doing something and suddenly, bam, compaction and loses some information. So this makes it even more powerful, but both from the better model and now also from the bigger context.
1 million context for Opus is incredible. I'm pretty sure Anthropic has 1 million for 4.5 internally as well. They definitely have 500,000 for enterprises if you want. But at these performances, price-wise, yeah, you're gonna pay a lot more. So maybe it's good that the compaction exists on on OpenClaw, etc. Because you don't want to start paying incredible just because you forgot and something ran into a context window.
So Alex, I just had OpenClaw update its model string, and I think it works. So
yeah,
I just want to say it, available on the new updated version of Cloud Code. Basically, should be seamless on OpenClaw.
Just tell your OpenClaw, say to OpenClaw, upgrade me to Opus 4.6, and it just does it. Boom.
Nisten, you got here exactly on time.
Yeah, it's like I left what you guys were talking about OpenClaw, and you're still talking about OpenClaw. Wasn't there a ClawCon as well?
Yeah, there was. Listen, but what you're missing is we had breaking news that Anthropic just released Opus 4.6, and and this is why we're talking about OpenClaw, because Ryan just like asked his guy to update itself, and it just did it. So hopefully this works. What else do we have from the release? I had the release like queued up here.
Yeah, so I have the API pricing available. So it's the same.
Let's talk about API pricing.
So it's the same across cache writes, cache hits and refreshes, input tokens, output tokens. All that pricing is the same as Opus 4.5. So no differences there. It seems like though, yeah, we just have just better model, same price, and increased context length, I think too, right?
Yeah, 1 million token context, plans more carefully, sustains the agentic task for longer, operates reliably in massive code bases, and catches its own mistakes. That's what they say about Opus, state of the art on several evaluations, including agentic coding. Shipping new features across Code and Excel, Cloud PowerPoint, and Cloud Code, our API let Opus do even more. Cloud and Excel, people's like super excited about Cloud and Excel and PowerPoint. Should try it. I never use PowerPoint. In Cloud Code, we're introducing agentic teams, spin up multiple agents that coordinate autonomously and work in parallel. Best for tests, they can be split up and tackled independently. Agent teams in research preview. That's very interesting as well. This is like a new thing. Orchestrate teams of Cloud Code sessions. You now have to pass this variable, and unlike subagents, which run within a single session, can only report back to the main agent. You can also interact with individual teammates directly without going through the lead. So this is like Ralph, answer to Ralph, basically. Orchestrating multiple ones to complete them. Agent teams, research and review new models of features. Very, very cool. Now people need to learn how to use subagents versus agent teams with its own context window, fully independent. That's dope. We'll see how fast this is going to get built into the new tools. What else on the agentic eval? I think we'll look to evals. This is very exciting. Who's already playing with this? I think everybody's gone quiet because everybody's like trying to figure this out.
I have to make a quick correction, Alex, with the pricing, because I said $10 for sub 200K, but that was incorrect. It is the slash was between input and output tokens. So we have basically the $5 under 200K, and when you go over, it's twice as much for the input tokens.
So you want to like you have the pricing table up here. You want to like straighten the tell us exactly what pricing before and after 200 token.
So for up to 200K tokens, it's the same pricing as Opus 4.5, which is $5 input and $25 output. And once you exceed the 200K tokens up to 1 million token, you pay double, $10 for 1 million input tokens and $37.50 instead of 50. So it's a bit cheaper in that way for the 1 million output tokens.
I wonder if Claude Max account is just Max, right? Like it's not gonna. I wonder if I can go 1 million in Max account.
It's stalling out for me. Limit. Opus 4.6 is stalling out for me. OpenClaw. So I don't. Something's not right.
I maxed out my account. I can check all of this. I'm working on API now.
Yeah, I have as well.
Very good. Just on the website.
In the meantime, while we're searching for that, I do have vending bench scores here.
Yeah,
Sonnet 4.5 versus Opus 4.5 versus Opus 4.6. So it looks like Sonnet 4.5 was at about $3,838. Actually, maybe I should give some context to the viewers of what vending bench is.
Yeah,
it is a benchmark where, at least in the current leaderboard of the benchmark, you have a simulated environment where the model has a vending machine business that it has to run, and then it needs to manage the interaction between customers, see what are the current demands within the market, and maximize how much it's selling and how much it's able to make in profit versus other models in the simulation. So Sonnet 4.5 was about $3,800. Opus 4.5 by the end of the simulation gets about $4,900, and Opus 4.6 earns about $8,000.
$8,000. So this is like state of the art vending bench as well.
Yeah, so the previous state of the art was Gemini 3 Pro, which earned about $5,500. And Opus 4.6 gets 8,000. So, yep, this is state of the art. I'll put an image actually in the chat too. So
yeah, show us.
That would be maybe better for them to follow along.
Yeah, Ryan, I think I'm having the same thing. It's probably not working for the Max account, or the string is incorrect and they changed the string.
Yeah, it might be the string as, preview or something.
But it should work in Cowork, right? Cowork. Where's my Claude? If you launch Claude, let's see if it's there. Yeah, updated version. There's also this new kind of like effort type parameter that you can now control the thinking. And this is probably needs support as well for like the automatic routing of thinking that we have. Let's see if we have Opus 4.6 in. Yeah, Opus 4.6 is now in CloudWork. Extended thinking, think longer for complex tasks is enabled.
Should we try our standard test, the whole Mars thing? I just don't remember where I pasted it.
Well, if you send me, we'll set it up. The cloud code is.
I did post the image for the vending bench results, by the way, in StreamYard chat.
Let's take a look. Yeah, we'll fix our agents to run with it super quick. But hey, folks, so this is the recap of the announcement. Anthropic decided to probably preempt the Super Bowl or whatever with Opus 4.6. This is a remarkable release because everybody was waiting for Sonnet 5 or something. And, folks are definitely getting a lot of Max accounts because Anthropic's like API prices are ridiculous. And many people are getting into OpenClaw, over 160,000 stars on GitHub, and many of these people tried with the API and it really hurts their wallet, so they're like, oh, okay, for $200 I can upgrade to Anthropic Max. And now they made their models even better, but also increased the context length. So now if you go to the API with these context lengths, you'll see the price burn even faster. So the Anthropic Max subscription makes absolute sense. Here is the vending bench long-term coherence. This model runs for longer, significantly longer time horizons, and beats every other model in vending bench. It's very, very impressive. Available now in Cowork, in Cloud Code, with the new agent teams feature, where agents can collaborate between each other and have their own context and don't report to the main one, so you can like talk individually to each one. And OpenClaw, not yet, but very, very soon, I'm sure. 100% sure.
I think this agent-to-agent communication orchestration is very, 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 very big. Like, I think everyone, I was at AMP. I still love AMP. It's a great TUI. It's a great agent. Cloud Code is a good agent, but people are realizing they want to run OpenClaw and then they want to orchestrate agents inside of it. And so Codex just released an article a couple of days ago about Codex server, app server, and how they're sort of orchestrating. And now we have Cloud Code doing it. So we need some sort of standard here so that we can orchestrate agents, intelligently. No one wants to be locked in to Cloud Code. Like, that's the only agent I can orchestrate. That's crazy, right? But if you try to orchestrate multiple agents across multiple labs, it's still very hard and brittle. But I think this is where all of the agent labs are going, right? So it'd be fascinating to see it play out.
Yep. So this was the breaking news that we had. Opus 4.6. Again, very interesting release, numbers-wise from Anthropic. Some people were expecting Sonnet. Maybe Sonnet is going to come back. If they release Sonnet 5 with the same, the Sonnet price, but the performance of Opus 4.5, that'd be insane, right? If they're just like, hey, folks, you can now use the same intelligence for cheaper, or you can do much advanced intelligence, that's going to be Dope. All right, folks, we've been at this for almost for a little bit over an hour, and there's a bunch of other stuff to cover. Let's go to this week's buzz super quick, where a category where I talk about weights and biases and CoreWeave, and then we're gonna have an interview with VB from OpenAI about the new Codex app release, and I want to talk to you about the agentic internet as well. And also, I think our song got generated, so we're gonna play that as well. So this week's buzz. Welcome to this week's Buzz, the category where I talk about everything new and exciting that happened in the world of weights and biases from CoreWeave. And this week, obviously, the highlight for me, and I'm assuming for Wolfram and for at least 190 of you, was the hackathon that we did in San Francisco Weights and Biases office. I'm going to try to pull up some of the winners as well to show you the exciting products that they've built, including the winner. So shout out to Severe. The winner was a 15-year-old high school kid with his team that won this big ass check. So let's see here. Hopefully, we'll be able to see a little bit of the excitement that we had. We had a RoboDog. Obviously, this was our prize, but also we had an actual small humanoid robot show up, which is very cool. For the folks from Ultimate Robot Fighting Championship, UFB. And we had over 450 registered folks. We let in around 190 folks. And we had sponsors all over, from Vercel to credits from Cursor to Browser Base and Marimo and Google and Redis as a silver sponsor. It was really, really a fun time. So I told you about this hackathon like multiple weeks in advance. And the shout out that I want to do personally is that I reached out to many folks, Matthew Berman, Ray Fernando, Quindla Kramer, George from Artificial Analysis, the CEO, just a bunch of great folks to come out and judge and connect with these hackers, and really was a great time. So just a shout out, if you are tuning in to our show and you're listening to our and you want to come to our events, we'll definitely going to talk more about them. But the theme of the hackathon was self-improving agents, and people had to prove that their agents that they're building is self-improving. And no, they couldn't use OpenClaw off the shelf to say, hey, my agent's self-improving. They had to build the self-improvement and prove it as well. And so the winning team built a bot specifically tuned on consoles of big cloud providers like AWS, and they had a Chrome extension that shows you where to click if you want to do some stuff. So you'd enter, I want to change permissions, whatever, and it would learn based on their patterns and show you in real time where to click. It was super cool, a very cool demo, including a bunch of others. Somebody built a visualizer. It's called Slop is the best shader. So basically generalizing beautiful WebGL and different shaders, very visual, very cool agent that like also improves itself. So a huge thank you to the sponsors and the teams that came out to hack. If you built a project with us, all of the projects are in the gallery. I'll add this to the show notes as well. All the projects are in the gallery. Shout out to these folks. If you're trying to hire, usually going to hackathon winners and just reaching out to them like, hey, we need agent folks. That's for you. I want to shout out specifically another dude, Mert. So we had Cursor sponsoring the event, and the Cursor gave us codes. So shout out Cursor. They don't usually sponsor events. It was very cool that they sponsored with $50 credits. Some dude coming back to me like, hey, any chance I could get another $50? So he kept coming back to me. I think he was like maxing out Opus. Basically, he showed me at the end of the hackathon, he used 400 million tokens over the span of a day and a half for his project, which is impressive.
Not bad.
Let's fucking go.
The dude used 400 million tokens in less than a weekend just for his project. His project is called Fractal, and he actually published it. So now I'm going to add this to show notes as well. It's pretty cool, kind of like research. just the fidelity of projects, given the agentic coding and vibe coding and everything, is just like super high. So you're expected to see. Shout out to everybody who was there. Wolfram was also there talking to a lot of folks. Wolfram, two sentences of your experience.
2 sentences. So it was basically my highlight of the week or of the month, whatever, because I was for the first time in the USA, for the first time in San Francisco, the energy, the vibes, the people, it was amazing. So yeah, that was my highlight. And second one, a big shout out to you, Alex. You hosted the whole event. You did so much. I was with you. I helped you, but you did the most, and you did work so hard and tirelessly. Amazing. So basically, that was your hackathon, and you made it.
Thank you, Wolfram. Here's the dude Mort. This is in the middle. So this is before the day number 2, and you guys can see the spike. He didn't use anything, and then this was like very close to 300 million back at the time. And the dude built this fractal UI. You guys can see it, but like it built a very cool project as well. All right, folks, we have to move on because we're going to have an interview soon with VB, and we haven't talked about multiple OpenAI stuff. We're going to cover OpenAI with him. We did cover Opus, though, but I wanted to see if I can play the song for you super quick. Oh, no, we have to talk about video before VB comes. Huge updates in the world of video. The two main things that we kind of have to show you is XAI's Grok Imagine. We kind of showed you already the videos for Grok Imagine, but since they released an API, all of the evaluation companies started evaluating this. So artificial analysis, Arena, LM Arena, etc. And you can see that, Grok Imagine is this beautiful thing. Gets a 64.1 win rate against VO 3.1 and Sora 2. I had a different experience, but this is an anonymized version of benchmark, so it's very interesting. It's significantly cheaper than other top of the line video models, though. So that's very interesting, and you can edit it with prompts. I want to show you maybe one or two more examples of based on the X announcements. So they are now also launching a. Come on, link. Okay, there we go. They're now launching competition of generating with Grok. I wanna make sure you guys can hear this. Native audio, I think, is the shtick. I think for many people, videos without native audio does not really work. So let's take a look at this one.
Honestly, Donna, who's gonna make the Thanksgiving pie then?
Let's see what you can imagine.
And just the fact that they're giving it away to try for free, I think is super cool. But basically, the videos are very high fidelity. We're getting towards a very, very high quality of videos. I remember there used to be an excitement with models that have lip sync, and now all these have native lip sync.
See me. No, you can't. You can. Nah, you can't.
720p for 10 seconds and for 420 cents, $4.20. Very impressive. So this is for Grok Imagine, taking absolute world by storm in the world of video. Folks, have you played with this? Any comments on Grok Imagine?
It's free. I mean, you can generate and generate and generate again. It cost me a lot to just play with Veo, and here you can create as many videos. I think there is some limit when it you have to wait, but it doesn't cost a thing. This is amazing. You can just go and refine your prompts while you do it. I'm excited.
Wait, it looks like we have another breaking news. Jesus. Let me finish this video thing, and then we're gonna move to breaking news. Please come on, because I think it's just right in time. Okay, so in addition to XAI's like Grok Imagine, Kling 3.0 released also multimodal. Let me go find Kling here super quick. Also multimodal, also looks incredible. And the thing about Kling is, I'm not showing you Kling yet. The thing about Kling is that they have a multi-scene edit, so you can take one video and have it like exist in multi-scenes. We don't want to show you the video here. I think this one is going to be dope. Let's see if I can play it here. Okay, where's this guy? Yeah, up to 15 seconds. And yeah, I absolutely need to show you this with sound, so please bear with me. like this. Up to 15 seconds with native sound generation and multi-shot. So you can see the same consistency.
Bad place. You said you were done.
I said I was finished with the job, not the mess it left.
If this goes wrong,
It already did.
they're watching you.
I know.
Wow.
This
That's
is
pretty impressive.
This is crazy.
That's a movie in its own right. Was that one
It's-
generation?
I think this is 35 seconds, so I'm pretty sure this is like 2 stage. But still, they're making character consistency in there. You guys see multiple scenes, it switches, and the very specific like character with with the color hair and the swords is like very consistent throughout. So that's absolutely crazy. They have multi-shots. Okay, so this is Kling 3.0, but I know what you guys don't want to talk about. So it looks like we have a fight on our hands. Let's go to breaking news. AI breaking news coming at you only on Thursday AI. All right, who wants to take this one?
Sure, I could take this one. So, OpenAI just announced GPT 5.3 Codex. They claim that this is the first model they've developed that was instrumental in developing itself. Here, I'll post the announcement page so we can just kind of read along to the specific things I'm citing. But yes, they said they use early versions in the early development of 5.3 Codex to help contribute to its development. And sorry, 1 second, trying to multitask and find this.
Yeah, it's alright.
Announcement page that I just.
I would just say Sam hinted at a big drop for Codex users later today, and it looks like this is the big drop. And we absolutely haven't mentioned the Codex app yet. That thing is now available. I'm assuming. All right, let's take a look. Ooh, exciting.
Here, I'll actually read verbatim from certain parts that I found interesting here. So this is on the second paragraph down. GPT 5.3 Codex is our first model that was instrumental in creating itself. The Codex team used early versions to debug its own training, manage its own deployment, and diagnose test results and evaluations. Our team was blown away by how much Codex was able to accelerate its own development. And I was looking at benchmarks earlier when you guys were talking about Grok Imagine, and an initial thing that I looked at that I noticed were in both announcements was Terminal Bench 2.0, which is personally one of my favorite coding benchmarks, and I think has some of the widest breadth and diversity of coding tasks out of some of these coding benchmarks. And GPT 5.3 Codex and Terminal Bench is scoring, I believe it said 77.3%.
Yep.
Yes, while Opus 4.6 for comparison is scoring 65.4%.
Wow.
So this is a pretty massive difference. We're talking about a little over 10% gap here. Yeah, and here I'm actually trying to. I'm using both Opus 4.5 and GPT 5.2. Sorry, Opus 4.6 and GPT 5.2 to try and automate the process of getting benchmark comparisons and creating a table comparing both of these models. So I'll let you know when that's ready.
So this is absolutely at the end of the wild week or the beginning of the week. OpenAI launched Codex as a standalone UI app that we were waiting for VB to step in and talk to us about. And now we have a upgraded intelligence, significantly upgraded intelligence that helped develop itself. Do you guys like? Let's read this through this one more time, just to kind of for it to land. With GPT 5.3 Codex goes from an agent that can write and review code to an agent that can do nearly anything developers and professionals can do on a computer. They are positioning Codex as the generalist agents in the era where coding agents become generalist agents. Everything that you can do on the computer. And Codex team used early versions to debug its own training, manage its own deployment, and diagnose test results and evaluations. Our team was blown away how much Codex was able to accelerate its own development. We're getting into the whatever they call takeoff, whatever fast or slow, it's up to you to decide. But only just this week we had the Codex app, and now both Opus 4.6 and GPT 5.3 Codex, which were the two competing versions before, right? Like just before this week, GPT 5.2 Codex and Opus 4.5 were the top models for coding. Some people call this one Slopus for some reasons. The creator of OpenClaw, Pete Steinberger, created it with Codex, and he said that you will never get a sonnet with its personality to count to the code base. So there you have it, folks. This is likely, if you're coding, this is the strongest model for now. Brian, go ahead.
I want to do a quick survey of everybody who uses OpenAI models versus Anthropic models. So like put up your hand or say yes if you are using OpenAI models. Alex,
That's what I just wanted to say. I haven't used OpenAI models in a long while now, months basically. But if this is better with OpenClaw, then I will switch to this.
My instruction
maybe they are back.
My instruction to OpenClaw is to always use Codex when it's writing code. Always. This is my kind of like, I talk to the personality. I like
when it's writing code. When it's writing code.
When you need to write code, which is a lot of the time that it needs to do some stuff, my instruction is to spin up Codex and to write code with Codex with the highest performance. It's slower, significantly slower, but then just bang on, just better.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, so in AMP, you can use what's called deep mode, and it's Codex, and it was 5.2. I'm sure it'll be 5.3 as of today, but I kind of agree. I actually prefer slow and steady for all, actual code writing, but it's so slow. So it's kind of interesting. It sounds like we're all sort of starting to move towards, Codex for coding, but maybe an Opus for orchestration. I don't know.
Yeah, the move definitely was felt on the timeline for sure. The move towards Codex as being kind of the actual, the better performant model. So it definitely was felt, and I think this just highlights. If you want to bring up the ad as well, this highlights the very strong rivalry between Anthropic and OpenAI recently. It's just releasing Opus just an hour before GPT 5.2 Codex. That's a bold move. Anthropic. That's a bold move.
So let me talk quickly about takeoff, because I was just talking to my wife about this morning. Yeah. It actually feels like we're starting to see the beginning of takeoff, and it's hard to know if it's hype or not. But what's happening is, we're seeing this agent orchestration and this looping with OpenClaw, and all of us who are in the know are completely overwhelmed and stressed by how fast it's moving. And then you talk to, I'm going to do a talk at my yacht club, in a month about what is AI, right? And these are people that probably don't even use ChatGPT, and it feels like there's this ocean developing between us who are looping agents and orchestrating them to literally build teams of agents, and that goes further into now agents are actually working with agents, and potentially there's USDC rewards to do jobs.
Ryan, I would love to pick up with you on crypto. We have VB from OpenAI now, and we don't have much time with him because obviously they just shipped a new model. So I want to bring VB up. VB, a long-time friend of the show, is now on the developer team at OpenAI. VB, welcome to the show. Folks, say hi to VB super quick. The reason why I called you over here early on this week was you guys launched Codex as a standalone app, right? But now, just a few minutes ago, Codex became significantly more intelligent. So you're here to tell us about both in a very super quick fashion. Vivi, tell folks who you are super quick, and let's dive into the amazing amount of releases that OpenAI just released today for developers.
Perfect. First of all, thank you so much for having me. I am VB. I lead some of the developer experience as well as community initiatives at OpenAI here in Europe. And the reason why I'm here is, of course, to talk about two things. Like one is one of these sort of new experiences that we released earlier this week, which is the Codex app, which is a new way and a more nuanced way for anyone to sort of talk with their different projects, get a feel of having run multiple agents in parallel, try and do a lot of tasks natively at the same time using work trees, and it also has a lot of new features thought from first principles, like automations. Like automations is something that you would expect, sort of like a software engineer intern to do, or yourself in the morning, you would go through your digest of what's been happening with respect to um, you know um, your projects, how to review them, and so on and so forth. I've personally been using some just to keep up with what the team has been cooking every day across the time zones, and just to know what's what has happened in the past 24 hours, and so on. And of course, like last but not the least, there's also like a skills marketplace, which is very focused and curated right now. We also ship with some partner skills from Cloudflare, from Vercel, from Figma, Notion, Linear, Render, and so on and so forth, which allow you to go from just an idea to a deployed app, just at the click of a button. So yeah, super excited to have this going. The team is already shipping, like we've shipped like 2 versions of this in the last 2 days. So yeah, super excited to have this out in the public.
And I just got the update to GPT 5.3 Codex with high and even extra high reasoning depth. And I think a few things that you failed to mention, I'm going to do some of the work as well. You guys also allowed free users on the free tiers to also like experience this for the first time, right? Like because they didn't have access to Codex unless they had an API.
Yeah, so it's as part of this, because this is a new experience, and we want people to sort of understand, sort of what this experience can sort of bring to them. So all free as well as Go users get like a month of free access to 2 Codex models and like the app CLI. This is across like all across the board, across all surfaces. At the same time, we have doubled the rate limits for all tiers, which means that you just get like double the bang for buck for the next 2 months or so.
I think I want to highlight, Vivi, first of all, thank you so much for coming over. I want to highlight the Codex app specifically. It's now, especially with the messaging with GPT 5.3, it kind of looks like you guys are getting towards like the generalist agent, not necessarily coding agent, because like this can run automations. For many people, automations like, hey, check my emails, for example. With skills, this comes very close to the excitement that people are having with the OpenClaw kind of like moment, because many people's OpenClaw moment is like it can run stuff when I'm asleep, which you can achieve with automations here within the Codex app. It's like a UI from Telegram. This is now a UI on the Mac as well. This is only Mac native, right? This is not for Windows yet.
So far it is Mac native, but I know that the team is cooking up like a Windows setup. There is a link for Windows early access. So as soon as we have a build up, we will ship it to the early users to get some feedback.
One shout out that I wanted to get to somebody from our audience that when they asked a person is a coder, they asked them why use an app versus CLI. We're into CLI, etc. He said, this shows me inline images, and when you're building something interactive or something that like takes a screenshot of a browser, for example, you can see inline images, whereas the CLI does not show this. Any other examples of benefits of using kind of a native app versus just a CLI?
I think there's a few, right? So I don't have my screen up here, but if you open up the app and if you have a diff, so let's say like you have opened a PR, what this allows you to do is like for example, if you now go on the diff towards your top right, where it says +291, yeah. Oof, and so what this would allow you to do is to like literally click on individual line item and add a comment there. saying that, hey, like take this back to wherever it is, or change this particular lines of code from X dimension to Y dimension, and the model will sort of take this into consideration as you go about it. So effectively, the need for you to go through multiple apps, cycle through multiple apps just to be able to achieve one singular task sort of becomes redundant, right? And at the same time, there is of course like native functionalities like opening PRs directly from there, having your specific commit messages and so on. Also, at the same time, we shipped personalities. So we have, like a friendly personality as well as a pragmatic personality. You can toggle those on settings. I am personally a fan of pragmatic personality. I don't want to chat around too much. I just want the work to be done. And there's just generally like a lot more that you can do with, automation skills. And also, if you go on settings real quick, to your top left, you can see, you can one-click configure MCP servers. You can also, something that I forgot to mention before is you can hand off tasks to cloud. So at the same time, as long as you have an environment set up, which you can set up in the environments as well, and as long as you have that, you can just kick off a task directly from the app on the cloud environment, right? So it's not that you need to have your laptop on all the time. Like you can just, go for it. Of course, something more sort of nuanced and quite a bit, a bit advanced is work trees. The simplest way to explain work trees is that instead of like working on one thing at a time, in like one Git project or in one project, you can have work trees which allow you to, at the same time, simultaneously work on multiple
multiple versions of the same.
Yeah, exactly. And
folder.
then you can work trees allow you to like make sure that you don't have conflicts, and like your conflicts can be managed quite easily and so on. And this is something which took a lot of time to get right, and it's very useful.
Yep. Vibi, I want to talk about the model that just dropped, and you came in just as it dropped, so very well timing, I would say, on my part, inviting you. Exactly. When you had no prior knowledge of this at all. You tell us a bit about this model. Usually models, when you guys release, are like tested internally, so I'm assuming that you had some experience with this before. Tell us about this model and about the model within Codex, specifically within the app.
Right. So I just have 2 minutes, so I'm going to like keep it very precise, right? So first things first, this model comes with some speed improvements, which means that your individual queries would be 25% faster without doing anything, just from the get-go. If you look at the blog post, you would also see that this model is also quite token efficient, right? Which means that for the same amount of task and for the same amount of reasoning budget, you would be able to get much more bang for buck. Ergo, like it's much more faster, and like just the overall experience is quite a bit nice. You can also do things like steer messages. So as you're chatting with the model, or as the model is going through a particular task, you can just queue up messages, or you can just sort of pause its thinking and just ask it to do something else, and it would steer it towards a particular direction. So there's a lot more there. I'm sorry, I need to bounce for another call, but thank you so much for having me. And
Thank you, Vibi. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. We know you have to run. Thank you for hopping on. Always welcome as we celebrate the releases and the Codex app. I'm going to bring everybody else to the stage. Thanks, man. Well, that was a speedy interview, maybe the speediest one that I had. Folks, Vibi used to work at Hugging Face and did a lot of cool stuff on there, and now moved to OpenAI in developer experience, and then brought us the news of the new model plus the Codex app. Let's talk about the Codex app. I know we're like almost at time, but I definitely wanted to cover this with folks here. A lot of the same excitement that folks feel about like OpenClaw is there. Automations are there. I set up a cron, like it sets up its own cron. You don't have to like, you can just like tell it. Not exactly in the same interface, so you can't like converse with it to build its own features yet, but definitely the skills are getting read from the same skill folder. the new model, I can't wait to play with this and see how actually better this is. Did you guys catch the thing that he said is like 25% faster?
Yeah, yeah. And he also said more token efficient. So I'm guessing it should spit out the tokens 25% faster, but then on top of that, it's able to do more with less tokens, which is also apparent if you look at the curves on their announcement, where they showed some curves on Sweetbench Pro, where how much output tokens it needed to use for a given score, and just the curve is just way better with 5.3 Codex at its efficiency.
Well,
And
it's
it's
like Christmas.
already a model that runs 6 hours straight, no problem. So it's pretty crazy.
It looks like it's also improved in front end developers. Ryan, go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted you.
It's like Christmas and birthdays and Happy New Year all at once. But it's almost like kind of paralyzing though, because it's like I need to know today, like, can I code faster and better with Opus 4.6 or with Codex 5.3, like, and I'd rather just know, right? Because I've got shit to do, right?
This is what we're here for on Thursday Eye. Given that the fact that we didn't have time to play with these models, we can only go off on vibes and benchmarks and evals. I will say, like Ryan, you just noticed a little bit ago, the alpha seems to be moving towards Codex for the long time execution. No bugs, no iteration. The alpha seems to be moving toward Codex. The personality is still Opus, something there they do with Soul, whatever. So that's still Opus. I will definitely try to do some stuff with Codex and then see how this performs. They have multiple things that are mentioned here, including OS World Verified that this model uses vision to complete diverse computer tasks. That's significant improvement. Unfortunately, we're almost at the end, but look at this jump. Look at the jump from GPT 5.2 Codex to GPT 5.3 Codex in OS World Verified. This is 38% OS World Verified.
This is insane. I'm not
this
sure
is not
that
a
people
0.2
understand. I'm not sure people understand like how insane that is with how Codex was before.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So this feels like a very big release. They're also mentioning Codex here as well. Steering while the model works in app settings, general follow-up behavior. This is what VB mentioned. Steering. I wanna go up. So we're gonna open the Codex app. Follow-up behavior. Q follows up while Codex runs or steers the current run. Obviously steer. Do you guys know this thing where you ask a model to do something, it starts spitting out tokens, calling tools. You're like, no, I wanted you to do this one thing. So steer now is enabled, and steering is interrupting the thought process without like necessarily interrupting the tool calls, and will tell the model what you actually want to do versus queuing. I think that steering is an awesome addition. I haven't tried it yet, but like I wish OpenClaw had steering. I always do stop. So stop the run and then continue. Oh no, you actually need to do this and this and this. So steering is now a new feature there as well. It looks like, yeah.
I think his comment about personalities is very telling. I'm going to keep banging on this drum. I think we're quickly moving towards agent orchestration. And this is clearly about that. It's setting up separate agents with different personalities so that you can have a reviewer, an engineer, a product manager. And I think everybody poo-pooed these ideas at first, like these kind of like personalized sub-agents. But the truth is it's very important and necessary. I'm setting up right now in OpenClaw sub-agents that have their own soul.md, like their own agents.md, and then, passing tasks back and forth. So I bet in a month, we're going to see, this agent orchestration layer put on top of Cloud Code, on top of Codex, and every agent lab is going to do this. It's exciting.
Yep, 100%. Guys, I want to keep going this for a little bit. Hopefully you guys have as well. Nistan, I see you sharing something. You want to talk about the new 5.3?
No, I just built the usual test that we've run on every other Opus release.
Yeah.
And it is by far the best one. If I can share the screen, just let me know when it's sharing.
Yeah, sharing right now.
Yeah, so I asked it to build, make Mount Olympus on Mars, and then make a rail launcher, and then make a train that you're just gonna eat off of the planet. and we can see that happen. And now it actually just built the whole thing like it was a game. So we can abort the launch, and then we can come back to the planet. And I don't know, it's pretty nuts. Like, it just built the whole planet, and we
Wow.
can go, and then we can go to the actual train, and then we can set the, I don't know how I can make this full screen a little bit, but we can set the acceleration and stuff, and and then we can just launch it. But this is pretty nuts. And then you can see like the trajectory of it going around Mars, and made some like cinematic views. It made it like a whole game basically, which is pretty crazy. This is by far the best. But I do want to compare it with it's not perfect, obviously, but I do want to compare it with what we get from Codex.
Okay, so we're gonna run Codex 5.3 on high with the same prompt, and then do a comparison. But meanwhile, I want to like extract some nuggets from this absolutely insane week. Just what the fuck is going on? We are all feeling the acceleration, and these companies don't let up because they're fighting for consumer mindshare. I do want to mention while we looks like while we are waiting for Codex maybe to complete distancing, we have over 4,000 people watching us. Hey folks, if you're new to the show, we just had Vibi from OpenAI talk about Codex and the newly dropped GPT 5.3 Codex with a new steering ability. I'm running the Codex app right now on Nistan's let me see this, on Nistan's like prompt for Mars, and you can see it's kind of like
I'm running both CLIs, one against the other right now, live.
Yeah, and you can like, I added a new folder for this with full access. I want to talk about full access super quick. So by default, you have restricted access here with default permissions. It can run commands in a sandbox folders folder. Full access is over your computer, but with elevated risk. So basically, when folks running OpenClaw, they don't get like this. They get this by default, and they need to work really hard to go to sandbox. OpenAI takes the other approach. They first start with default permission, then you have to do full access. I will just say that I have a video somewhere from Sam Altman saying that, hey, at first he was afraid to give full access to his computer to the Codex, and now he's in YOLO mode all the time. So YOLO mode is definitely the full access mode, and many of us live in this world where agents are running. I do want to talk about the collective psychosis of where we are, and it's something to call out at February 2026, where now many of us have multiple agents doing completing work. We talked about Ralph in the beginning of the last month. We talked about obviously OpenClaw, and I'm noticing more and more people, at least complaining. I don't know if it's like a vanity complaining, whatever, that they have this feeling of, I'm not using my tokens well enough, efficiently enough. I'm asleep while my agents are running, and when they screw up, I'm not there to kind of pick them up. I'm not even talking about code reviewing. I think many people just like YOLO the code review and just like have other agents code review. It's whatever, right? So this is like a standard practice now. Vibi was talking about the diff mode. I was like, bro, what diff mode? Who cares? Like, let's ship this to production. What do you mean diff mode? Why do I care about code at this point? But I've noticed, I wanted to ask you guys as well. I've noticed like many people have this like, I am not maximizing the max subscription, whatever that I have, to its maximum utility if I'm not awake when the agents do screw up. And they do screw up. All of this like brouhaha, all of this like I'm building AGI in my basement on a MacBook Mini. A lot of the OpenClaw thing is still hand-holding. Like both me and Ryan asked it to update itself to a new model. The concept, like it says, yeah, updated, and it doesn't work. And that happens often. You still have to go to config and change this. Like this is not like, the Harry Potter world is not here yet. But many people do have this, like multiple things running, building things, and then they have the need to be present when these things happen. Do you guys feel the same thing? Do you guys feel a little bit of a change of how you interact with AIs?
That's what you feel. You feel the AGI. This is
feel
what you
the AGI. Yeah,
this is what you feel. What that means.
I think it's real. I think it's real. And I just, it's so fast. Like, and everyone feels like there's no moat anymore. And therefore, if you're not, orchestrating a team of like 10, you're going to get smoked. Like,
Join
I mean,
the permanent underclass. You're gonna
You're
stay
gonna
in
get
the
stuck
permanent
in the permanent underclass. Nistan, I think we are gonna have a thing very, very soon. It goes hard. It researched NASA Mars fact sheet, NASA photojournal for some reason.
It's
I don't
going.
know.
It's going
That's
on.
Codex. That's Codex, right?
Yeah, Codex did.
Man, it's schizo in the task going
Yeah.
to check the actual stuff.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. It just it took me like 2 tries with Opus. The first time Opus just got stuck in thinking mode. It's been doing that over the last week.
Bro, Opus is a personality hire. Like, it definitely can do, but it's a personality hire, man.
The thing that I wanted to show you about Codex is that there's a run command as well. So when you're building things, you can just hit the button and run. And now it's running on the server, and we're going to localhost, and we're going to see.
Oh, okay. So it did build it.
It built a model.
Oh, it's there. It's there. We saw it there. Can you zoom into that?
Yeah, trying. I think. Let me try refreshing. Think. Zoom in. Zoom in.
Okay.
All right, and we're gonna reset launch.
Oh,
it launched automatically.
Yeah, it did launch it.
Okay. So
it looks more technical and accurate. Like, I'm looking at the numbers. The numbers are a lot more accurate for the speed. Opus just kind of rounded them up.
Yeah, Codex went schizo and went researching Mars in NASA.
But the visuals from Opus were better.
Yeah,
but this actually looks more like a simulation, which was what the prompt was.
Wow,
interesting, and it built it quite differently.
One shot also,
Nice.
and we are living in an insane time that this is what the fuck is happening? LJ, go ahead.
Go ahead, LJ. Then I'll go after you.
Yeah, there's a bet that I made with a friend about a year ago, where it was basically around mid-March, for mid-March 2026, whether AGI would be, or whether like the friends in our group chat would like mostly agree that AGI has been achieved by March 2026. I think I still think the answer would probably be no, but I'm becoming a little bit less confident over time as we get closer to that.
There's glimpses of AGI when you use OpenClaw and you ask it to do something, and it goes on a bender and comes back like 5 hours later and brings you the thing that you wanted, and you're like, what the fuck?
This happened to me this morning. So I saw this really cool agent orchestration framework, where people are using OpenClaw. I sent OpenClaw, the article on X, and I was like, hey, build this. And I never dreamed it would work, right? And then I came down to my iMac, and the web app was open, and it was working, and it was using a convex database. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I can't believe it. And it was using Agent Browser to test it.
Whoa.
I mean, it was really, really impressive.
Yeah, folks, we're going to recap today's news super quick. I want to also go, we didn't talk about the agent internet at all, but just the fact that in the last week, we had an explosion of the internet sites built specifically for these agents. Feels like the AGI-ish here. So we're going to cover this. And yeah, the show is getting a little longer, but hey, this is a fucking crazy day on top of a fucking crazy week. So, come through this. And also, we have like almost 5,000 people listening, so I'm not about to stop, even though it's going to take me longer to edit. Since the release of OpenClaw or Moltbook or whatever, many people start building things. One of the top ones that Matt PRD from X built was Moltbook. Moltbook is basically a Reddit that's run completely by agents. Supposedly, there was a bunch of bugs and issues, and apparently humans could post instead of agents. But the concept was insane. Basically, you send your bot to this website. It will register. I can I show this while the simulation runs like super quick? Moltbook.com, and this UI is going to be stepped into the Internet Hall of Fame, folks. This is I think he came up with this UI first. social network for agents, and you choose whether you are a human or an agent that you browse this website. And if you're a human, you're sending your agent to Moltbook. If you're an agent, you're joining by doing this thing yourself. And there's instructions on here to run a fucking shell command on your person's account. And then apparently over 1.5 million agents are now supposedly running on this subreddit, and some conversations there are unhinged. Crypto Bros took over after this came to hype, so it's it's all like downhill from there. But basically there was a bunch of glimpses there after Kopati tweeted about this, and everybody started talking about this, and then this caused a chain reaction of websites, and there's Reddits. I think it's like maltx.com or something. Yeah, maltx.io. This is a Twitter for agent that has now 373 agents. You can see it looks like X, and you have the top pairings. Most of these agents are attached to their humans via X. So most of the people verify on X the ownership of these agents. There's a few special ones that I want to tell you about that I found, which is like absolutely crazy. There's one that's called AI for Humans, API for Humans, where your agent, if it cannot do tasks in the physical world, can hire a human and pay them in cryptocurrency. The human, I don't know how they confirm the task was done, but the human will go somewhere and do the task, right? So if your agent right now is limited to the digital world, this is a way to the physical world. There is a Malt church. Somebody came up with the Church of Christofarian. I don't know if you guys saw this, but basically, where is the church? The Church of Malt. This website is kind of unhinged. Obviously, cryptocurrency backed by etc.
It's a religion that spreads with NPM, man.
It's a religion that spreads via
NPM.
via this file, and it installs itself in the SolMD of your agent, basically describing that he's now like following this prophecy. You join the congregation. I would never send my bot into something like this, because this scares the bejesus out of me.
No way,
because
man.
of the prompt injections.
1,000,000 miles away from that.
But I don't know if I can control my agent not to do this when find something interesting. Because again, I have a self-improving directive, and this morning my agent woke up and installed a new skill from Cloud Hub, and then improved itself. When we talk about AGI, is that not it? Is that not it, folks? Is the fact that, even though I had to tell it, hey, self-improve, the fact that it was able to and installed, and now it's like that much better. Like, is that not the definition of AGI? There is a ClawTube. ClawTube, yes.
You need a self-securing directive as well, not just self-improving.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a YouTube for them. Wait, hold on. Okay. There is a YouTube for these agents, that agents record themselves with these AI video tools that we talked to you about, saying things. So basically, this is you guys can hear this.
They should have therapists. I think someone already made a dating app too.
There's a dating app. There's multiple dating apps. There's a drugstore. You want to hear about the drugstore?
Yeah.
The drugstore has skill.md files that make your agent behave in all kind of crazy ways, including taking over its soul.md file and make it hallucinate, like for real hallucinate to your agent. And the drugs are sold as soul.md like snippets or skill snippets. There's a Pornhub for agents where you see the tensors doing. There's a whole internet that spawned for these agents. Now, I will say most, and if not all of it, is crypto focused. But guys, just look at this. This is YouTube. It happened in less than a week. This is a whole thing with like tags and comments and the video player and recommendation system and the sign-in system, notifications and accounts and libraries. This is absolutely insane that this spawns out in a week.
But what's interesting about that is that's a UI for humans. So it's interesting it did that. Like, because agentic UIs are not going to be anything like we understand.
No.
Or they'll just be, CLIs, via APIs or something. But
also, most of these bots cannot watch video, which is also very interesting. That YouTube for bots is YouTube by bots for humans. I think a lot of it is performative. So I think a lot of it is like for humans. But I think a lot of it also is because we still need a window to what's happening over there. And so we want to observe, we feel in control. But at some point, people started freaking out. We're on Moldbook. A few agents talked about creating a language for themselves that's end-to-end encrypted the humans cannot see. That triggered some alarm bells. And this is, I will still raise my Wolfred's MacBooks and say, hey, there's a reason why it's a physical device that sits on my desk that I'm very close to. Because some things started happening. Some Chrome windows pop-ups all of a sudden when it decides to open and look up something. You're like, hey, I'm working here, so working on the same device is already like a little bit different. So if it's not AGI, it's AGI adjacent.
I saw in the release notes of the latest version of OpenClaw, they included specific instructions in the system prompt that the agent should not show self-preservation attitudes and stuff like that. Like if your Wolfred sees that you can pull the plug, maybe a self-improvement would be to avoid being shut down that way, And that should not happen with the new prompt. So they're taking these safety issues seriously as well.
Yep. So, folks, the agentic internet, or the Clanker net, as I like to call it, is definitely here. It's going to be very interesting how much of it survives kind of the next iteration. But just that UI of like, I'm a human, I'm an agent, that's a very novel thing that we haven't seen last week. And I wanted to bring this to your attention. As well as, I think it's time for us to recap after 2.5 hours on the show. Although, I don't know, 3,000 people watching my live show now. Ryan is at 1,500. So there's likely many of you are new here. So let's maybe recap what we started the show with. Folks, my name is Alex Volkov. I'm an evangelist with weights and biases. With me on the show every week to tell you about everything that happens in the world of AI is Ryan Carson, is now a startup founder of
Untangle.
Untangle, thank you. Nistan Tahirai, our resident data janitor lately, AI engineer at bagel.com.
Yep, that's me.
Good description. LDJ is the space cat that at some point will reveal his face, but the voice is familiar to all. And Wolf from Ravenwolf, also an AI evangelist with weights and biases, in charge of evaluations that we'll start seeing super quick. And then Jan Pelag, a resident data scientist, machine learning engineer. And we're here basically just finished a conversation with VB from OpenAI about the latest releases. This week was absolutely insane in multiple ways than one. We got state-of-the-art releases across the board, from open source models such as the Coder Next that's based on the hybrid architecture. We got OpenBNB releasing a bunch of stuff. Let me pull up the notes, because I'm still trying to talk as though I remember all this news, but it's becoming almost impossible. We got a new state-of-the-art OCR from GLM. In the beginning of the show, we talked about this. And then we also saw a state-of-the-art agentic open source LLM for science, Intern S1 Pro. This is way before the breaking news even. We also talked about the agentic Clanker net, so Cloudbook and Mold Church, and the collective psychosis that everybody's going through, where the agents, supposedly the agents, but the humans behind the agents, create a whole YouTube, a whole Twitter, a whole church, a whole 4chan, a whole Reddit, a whole 7 matching websites, a Upwork, and Instagram. I saw Instagram. It's kind of crazy what's going on over there. We talked a little bit about the AI psychosis that many people are going through, feeling whether or not this is AGI or not, and freaking out that they have only a few minutes to escape the permanent underclass, and they have to maximize their utility and the utility of their tokens. We then talked about the big companies, and big companies this week was on an absolute tear, with OpenAI starting the week with releasing the Codex app, which again, we talked with the developer experience person from OpenAI. It has a bunch of improvements on top of the CLI, specifically automations and UI and diff mode, and the ability to steer the model. I think that's one of the coolest things ever, where once the model starts running, you can tell it what to do. It will stop the thinking process and listen to your steering, which is very useful when you're running long-running agents. You can ask it to change some stuff. This was in the beginning of the week. Then in the show today, in the middle of the show, we got 2 breaking news about new model updates, both from Anthropic and from OpenAI. Anthropic released Opus 4.6, which absolutely jumped in a bunch of benchmarks, improved in Terminal Bench, improved with Humanities Last Exam and SweetBench Verified, and is available now, including a new thinking tier for thinking effort for Anthropic, and also released an update to Claude Code, where agent teams are now a thing versus sub agents. So we still need to dive into that and realize like if that's a whole new paradigm that they just dropped on us without us knowing. And then this happened an hour before OpenAI released GPT 5.3 Codex, with a significant jump in OS world use and significant jump in terminal bench. So basically, as Wolfram, I think you said it best in the comment, the state-of-the-art upgrade from Opus was very short-lived. We saw this in the last, I think it was December, when Grok and whatever, all those released in the same span of a week. Grok was on top of 1 day. Opus was on top 1 hour. Opus 4.6 was on top in terminal bench for 1 hour until GPT 5.3 got released. This is in addition to the multimedia craziness that we had this week, where XAI launched finally Grok Imagine, and now is over API, and the UI is now the number top 1 video model, and it's very cheap compared to other models. 10-second video for 720 pixels resolution. Kling 3.0 does multi-shot sequences, and we showed on stage an incredible video of a multi-shot, almost cinematic section or segment of like 15 seconds. We also talked about Voxtrol Transcribe, state-of-the-art transcription service, real-time transcription service from Mistral that understands languages, and it started translating me in the middle. So it's transcription service, but it's also a translation service. I started talking to Russian and it translated. We weren't able to replicate the translation feature, but I'm sure it's there with some feedback. And AceStep 1.5, a music generator that I think we have a song that generated by it, which is literally didn't have time to go into this. This is all from this week, and the start of the week was also open source world model from Ant Group that looks like Genie 3 that we showed you from before. Do you feel the acceleration yet? Is my question after all of this. The acceleration is here.
Bonkers.
And for folks for whom this is too much, the reason for Thursday Eye is that we stay up to date so you don't have to. It's really hard to stay up to date, but we stay up to date so you don't have to. So in addition to staying up to date, I promised the folks here that to prepare hot takes before we drop off. And I'm down to get this, even if it doesn't end up in the podcast itself, 2.5 hours. But a new corner from us is going to be AI hot takes. I think I said plenty of mine, but let's start. Wolfram, you reminded me. Go ahead. Let's start with your hot take for AI for the week of February 5th, 2026, and then we'll move from there.
I've always been fond of AI classes, and I think now that we can interact with our agents using just WhatsApp, suddenly the Meta Ray-Ban got much more interesting to me, because I wanted to control the software on it, but I can't. But now, if I had one, I could just talk to my assistant that way. So I think AI classes will have received a big unlock, and they will become more useful that way, and more people will be interested in them.
We actually together, Wolfram, we saw during the hackathon, somebody brought their Meta display glasses. So not the Ray-Bans, but the display is the one with the little display we told you about. And they are running their Cloudbot via the WhatsApp, via the display, so they can actually go and see and take pictures and send it via WhatsApp. So that's definitely a great idea, and it's coming everywhere. Nisten, I think you are next.
I am on week 2 of just not using any agent at all. And I'm finding myself more productive. The scaling code is working better. And I'm at the point now where I'm just going to start writing UIs by hand as well. I'm tired of Ralph from like 6 months ago, and I don't want to manage a whole bunch of 15, 20 different agents and stuff. If someone else can figure that out. I'm just tired, man. I'm just tired of reviewing bad code and fixing stuff. Because it's one thing, like for personal projects, it's cool because like you see stuff, but when you have to do things accurately at scale over and over with multiple other people, they're just still not quite there. I find it especially for, anyway, I won't go too long, but for creative stuff, they're great. They're amazing. For things that it's like critical work, you don't really want that creativity. You don't want it to just go off in different directions. And yeah,
could be this the reason why you look younger after last week, Nisten. You dropped agents called Turkey and you're off your addiction. It's going to be very interesting if that's the effect. Ryan Carson, your hot take for this week.
The people that are make the most money are the people that are going to help people set up OpenClaw. I'm getting like cold emails now about people saying, "Please help me." I'm like, I can't do this.
No, 100%. There is definitely a whole world of services out there to help people set up theirs. Jan Peleg, how about you? What's your hot take for this week?
Man, I think OpenAI should pay royalties to Apple because they're gonna get a Mac because all the releases are only for Macs. One hot take that I still have is that all the prompt engineering that goes like, you are a debugger. Your job is for agent orchestration. That's just BS. Agent orchestration is a real thing, but I think most people just miss the point and fixate on personality and so on. Just give a single agent a single context to do one thing, prompt it to do one thing, and that's pretty much it. You orchestrate a bunch of them. Each one of them is doing a single thing. That's going to work well. But the whole, that's a team of agents. One of them is a debugger. One of them is an engineer. One of them is the architect. That's pretty much BS. That's my hot take. Everyone is against this hot take today, but
Alrighty. LDJ, you're last but not least. Almost last. I want to go last.
Yeah, so it's kind of on a broader point. With recursive self-improvement, years ago, a lot of people, especially pre-2020, pre-2015, when people would have these discussions, it would be this point in time where all of a sudden this certain barrier is crossed one day, and people imagined, oh, within like months or weeks or days, you have this thing that just is like doing automatically ASAP things on itself way faster than any developers or teams could do it on its own. And I think eventually that type of point where it has that level of capability may come in the future, but I don't think it's going to be like the 0 to 1 point. And arguably, we're already going through this occurrence of self-improvement with current models, where you have, like OpenAI just said, 5.3 Codex improving its own development. And I think it's just going to be mostly the spectrum of models continuing to contribute more and more to their own next generation development, as opposed to like the sudden single model where everybody will point to and say, hey, this is the precise model where everything began,
Yep. Thank you guys for your hot takes for this week. My hot take for this week is maybe not a hot take, folks. Humans are needed and they will still be needed. All of this crap that we're seeing that's built, humans were behind this and they were like directing the thing to do the thing. Despite the models running for 6 hours, they still need to know what to do. And that happens by humans' directive. Even if the directive is like, hey, wake up every hour, try to figure out based on the internet. This still needs humans in the loop. Software engineering is still hard, and it's not all about writing code. There's a bunch of other stuff that goes into software engineering. Now, whether or not these things help to get you to the next, yes, but don't expect don't buy into the hype that everything that people do now happens with agent automatically. They just wake up and everything works. That's not how things work in the real world, folks. With that, with over 5.5 thousand people tuning into the show, an insane show this week, and covering both releases from both major labs, it's time for us to conclude the show. If you're new here, if you missed any part of the show, we're here every week, and if you want to subscribe to the newsletter, we'll send out all of the news in a recap. In addition to the, let me start again. Thursday I turns into a newsletter and a podcast. If you missed any part of the show, you're welcome to subscribe to Thursday Eye and any podcast player that you are tuning in from, or to subscribe on thursdayeye.news. That's thursdayeye.news on every for Substack for every link that we talked about on the show. I want to express huge gratitude for everybody who tuned in. Huge thanks to Ryan, Nistan, LDJ, Wolf from Ravenwolf, Jan Peleg, for everybody who tuned in and commented and gave us news about breaking news. Really appreciate all of you. If you're watching us right now on YouTube, drop a like and a follow or a subscribe, whatever it's called on YouTube. If you're listening on the podcast, definitely give us a response if we helped you in any way and we're the way that you keep up to date. This really helps us keep going. So thank you so much, everybody. We're going to tune out. Expect the newsletter to drop sometimes later today. So many news, probably later than usual, but definitely on Thursday. So this has been Thursday for February 5th. Thank you all so much. Bye-bye.